Now, this is case number 352 on the calendar in the matter of Chavarria versus Calic. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Mr. Chavarria, the defendant is your former girlfriend, according to your complaint, after an argument at your sister's house. Is this your sister?
That is correct.
Miss Calic assaulted you, and later she burned some clothes that you had been laundering at her house. Miss Calic says she didn't burn your clothes, she doesn't know what you're talking about, but that you assaulted her during this altercation, and she is counterclaiming. Now, when did this altercation take place at your sister's house?
On October 7, 2005.
Tell me about it.
I was in the process of moving my clothing from my friend's house to my mom's house. So I asked Erica if I can do my laundry at her mom's house, and she said yeah.
Why didn't you do the laundry at your mother's house?
Because she doesn't have a washer and dryer.
Do you have a key to that house?
No.
How did you get in?
Her brother was there.
Who was this?
That's her brother.
Did you let him into the house?
No. He wasn't there. Like, I don't remember him letting him in.
Don't speak. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and I did my laundry, and there's some things that I dry, and then there's other things that I hang up. So I hung up all my clothing in her closet.
You hung up wet clothes in her closet?
I hung up my jeans, some of my work shirts, a couple sweaters, and that's about it.
Go ahead.
So I went and picked her up at about 12:30.
Where did you pick her up from?
From school.
Where do you go to school?
At Spokane Community College.
What are you studying?
I'm going for administrative systems.
What time did he pick you up at school?
12:30.
And where did you go?
We went back to my house.
When you got back to your house, was his laundry dry or wet?
When he left him from his friend's house, they were still in his trunk. He never did laundry at my house. He was going to, but we ended up going to go look for apartments to live in.
How do you know they were in his trunk?
Because he had brought them from his friend Mike's house.
What I'm asking you, Miss Calic, is how do you know his clothes were in his trunk?
Okay, I don't know. I'm assuming that they were.
Fine. What did you go to your house for?
Because we went and got a paper, and we sat there at my house and like circled apartments and called and made appointments to go look at the apartments.
Where was your brother?
He was in his room.
Did you see him there?
Yes.
Did you go into his room?
Yes.
He didn't come out to you. You went into his room.
Well, not at this time. He was...
I'm just asking you a question.
No, I went into his room.
That's what I asked you. Next.
When we were looking for apartments, we went to one place, and we didn't really like it, so we decided to go to my sister's house, Clarissa. Me and Clarissa's ex-boyfriend went to the store, and when I came back, my friend Mike said Erica's in the room talking to her ex-boyfriend. So I went to listen on the phone to see if it was true, and she was on the phone talking.
Just a second. What do you mean you went to listen in on the phone?
I went into my sister's room to
And you picked up the extension?
Yeah.
That's pretty gross.
Okay. Then I went into the room and asked Erica why she was calling her ex-boyfriend, and then she said, "Why do you care?" And I was like, "Because I'm your boyfriend." I was like, "Would you want me to be calling my ex-girlfriend at one of your brother or sister's house and then be trying to hide it from my sisters like you're doing, like you're going to go cheat on me or something?" Then she got up and she's like, "Oh, you're always so jealous," and she started cussing me out and screaming at me. Then I took the phone from her, and then that's
How
when
did you get the phone from her?
Because I told her to leave.
Well, so far, all I'm hearing is, and I said to her, how would you think you would feel if it were me talking to an ex-girlfriend at your brother's house? And I took the phone from her. Tell me how you took the phone from her, sir. The phone is in her hand, yes.
And then I grabbed the phone from her.
Okay, well, now we get to the grab part. You grabbed the phone from her hand, and what happened when you grabbed the phone from her hand?
I told her to leave my sister's house.
You grabbed the phone from her hand. Did she pull back?
No.
She just gave you the phone?
She didn't give it to me. She tried to keep it in her hand.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Pay careful attention. Life has a certain rhythm to it. There are certain natural things that happen.
Yeah.
And when you get to be my age, things become more natural. You know, if it doesn't make sense, it usually doesn't happen. So that she's talking to the ex-boyfriend on the phone. You go to grab the phone out of her hand. She pulls back. You pull back. So now you're in a struggle for the phone, right?
Correct.
And then what happened, sir?
So I had the phone in my hand.
How did you do that?
I took the phone from her hand.
You overpowered her.
That is correct.
And?
And then that's when she hit me in my temple and once in my nose. And then I pushed her. And during the whole thing, that's when my sister walked in and was trying to pull us away from each other. And so I was walking outside, and that's when Erica pulled me back in and was hitting me all over in my neck and my chest and my back. And then I hit her in the eye because it was for self-defense. I didn't know what else to do. I couldn't get away from her.
So the police came, and what happened when the police came?
Okay, before the police came, I was outside smoking a cigarette, and then Mercedes, Erica's daughter, came outside and asked me if I can give them a ride home. I said, yeah, and that's when Erica came barging outside and slammed the door open, and this door hit Mercedes in the face and gave her a bloody nose. And I was like, Erica, what are you doing? And then she said, look at my eye. And then I was like, look at my face, Erica, look at what you did. If you didn't hit me first, I wouldn't have to defend myself.
What injuries did you have on your face?
I had cuts and bruises above my eye, under my eye. I had a couple lumps on my head. And
when the police came, did they arrest you?
No.
Did they arrest her?
No, because she wasn't there. She left before the police came.
Did you
can
file
I tell my part of the story? Because this.
I'm going to get to you.
Okay. Well, no.
I'm going to get to you.
Okay.
Does anybody have a copy of the police report?
No.
No.
According to the plaintiff, you had a prior incident involving domestic violence with him. Is that true?
Correct.
When was that?
June 2nd, 2005.
Were you taken into custody on that day?
Yes, I was.
How did you assault him?
I slapped him.
So that you're not a stranger to slapping him.
Oh, no. I've done it before.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Just because you're the woman doesn't give you the right to put your hands on another person. And if you put your hands on another person, you hurt them a little bit, and they hurt you a lot, that comes under the category of too bad.
And later today,
If you don't pay child support for your child, you're a bum.
Yeah, basically.
Perfect.
It would have been his second time going to jail for not paying his child support.
That's a bum times two.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 19-year-old Gabriel Chavarria says ex-girlfriend Erica Calick owes for burning his clothes and punching him. Erica is countersuing, claiming Gabriel gave her a black eye.
What happened when he pulled the phone away from you?
He didn't even pull the phone away from me.
So tell me what happened when he came into the bedroom, which you acknowledged that he did.
Yes.
Came into the bedroom and you got into a heated argument about you're allegedly speaking to a former boyfriend.
I wasn't speaking to anybody. It was his friend Mike that was talking to my ex-boyfriend because they're friends, and they were going to go out to a party or something.
So you never got on the phone to say hello?
No,
Okay.
never.
So when he came inside and said, what's going on? Let me hear.
He stood up, and well, I stood up because I was sitting on the floor. And
What were you doing sitting on the floor?
we were all sitting on the floor.
Who's all?
Me, his friend Mike, and his other sister.
You mean the two of you weren't alone in the room at the time?
Oh, no.
Go ahead.
And I stood up because he got on the other line and he heard my ex-boyfriend talking, but I wasn't speaking to him. So he came in and said that I was trying to call him, and it's just common sense that why I wouldn't call my ex-boyfriend at his sister's house. So I stood up and he was calling me all these names and pushed me, so I pushed him back and he hit me in the room. It wasn't in the living room or where he said it was. It was in the room, and I fell back on the bed and got up and then pushed him again, and we just kind of got in a fight, but I didn't punch him or slap him or anything. And then he had a scratch right here, and that was the only thing that he had. I have pictures.
Just a second. He had a scratch from what?
Well, I'm guessing I scratched him. I don't remember.
Well, you must have scratched him because according to you, all I heard was I pushed him.
No, and then we got into a fight. But I didn't punch him or anything, like
You
he said.
scratched him.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
I guess.
Anything-
I mean,
let me
obviously
ask
he
you
had
this question, madam. If you scratched him and he just had a little scratch over here, you think that he overreacted by punching you in the eye?
Yes, I do.
That's too bad. If you put your hands on somebody and scratch them, give them a little scratch, sometimes you get, listen to me, sometimes you get the worst of the deal. Somebody's going to get the bad part of a bargain every time there's an altercation, a physical altercation. Somebody's going to get hurt a little bit more than another person. And just because you're the woman doesn't give you the right to put your hands on another person. And if you put your hands on another person, you hurt them a little bit, and they hurt you a lot, that comes under the category of too bad.
It was in self-defense, Your Honor. He
Listen
hit
to me.
first.
Listen to me. That comes under the category of too bad. You can't scratch him and then say, well, I can scratch you, but you better not punch me in the eye. You better not give me a black eye. Now, when he gave you the black eye, were you angry?
Of course.
And then you went home with your daughter. Now, did you hurt your daughter that day?
No, I didn't. She got a bloody nose, but I did not do it.
Well, who did it?
I don't know.
That should have been your primary concern, not your black eye, how your 4-year-old daughter got a bloody nose.
It wasn't. That was
Listen
not my
to me.
concern.
Listen to me. Because According to him, he says he knows how your daughter got it. You came, you opened the door on her face, and that's how she got a bloody nose. Then you put her in the car and you took her home. When did you notice her bloody nose?
Right away, right when it happened.
Well, if you noticed it right when it happened, how did it happen?
Because my back was faced toward her, and then she started crying. I said, what happened? She goes, I got hit in the nose, and it was bleeding. That's the only thing. Then I grabbed her and walked downstairs and walked to my mom's work because he wouldn't give me a ride home.
Let me see an inventory, sir, about what you allege was in her house.
All my clothes were in her house, but I had to go and get new clothes. These are just the receipts of all my clothes that I had to buy. And here's a letter from my supervisor from all the scratches and cuts and welts on my head.
Listen to me. I believe she assaulted you. I believe that you hit her and gave her a black eye. Terrific. That's quite a way to behave in front of a 4-year-old. Put your hand down. You went in there angry. If I believe what you say, sir, if I believe what you say, which is different from what she says, you put your hands on her first, only by trying to take the phone away from her.
That is
You
correct.
struggled over the phone. You have no right to put your hands on anybody in an aggressive way. Put your hands on her in an aggressive way. If I believe you, I believe somewhere in between these two stories is the truth. But if you each wound up with a couple of scratches and a black eye, it sounds to me like you deserved each other. How do you know she burned your clothes?
My sister called her later that night and asked Erica how she was doing, if her eye was okay.
Up here. Tell me your last name.
Chavarria.
Did you speak to her later that day on the 7th of October?
Yeah, I called.
Just a second. You called to ask her if her eye was okay?
Yes.
What did she say?
She said it was still black. It was still hurting.
And?
I asked her how her daughter's bloody nose was, and she said it was better. And I said, well, Erica, don't throw away his clothes. And she said, no, tell him I'm going to burn him and throw him away. I said, Erica, don't cause drama, because, and then she's like, no, and then she hung up on me.
Sit down. You had jeans, sweaters, work shirts. How many work shirts?
About 10.
Get out of here. Let me see the bills that you have. Let me see the bills that you have.
Donna, can I say something?
Go ahead.
When she called me, she never asked about his clothes because his clothes were never at my house. She asked me if I was okay, and I was like, yeah. I said, why are you going to call, now and ask me if I'm okay when she didn't try and do anything when he hit me?
What about when you hit him?
What do you mean?
Did she try to do anything when you hit him?
No. She tried breaking us up and saying, Gabriel, just stop.
All the clothes that you purchased, sir, were $453. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $453. Your counterclaim's dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. Let's step out.
I didn't want to be with him anymore. I was showing it. He obviously got the hint now.
She never even hinted that to me.
He had a car. He gave me money, and so that's why I was with him.
See, that shows you the type of girl she is right there.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Torres versus De Jesus. Step forward, please.
23-year-old Ileana Torres is suing her ex-fiancé, 25-year-old Benny De Jesus, for a loan to pay his child support. Ileana says Benny was in danger of going to jail for the second time.
How old are you, Miss Torres?
23.
And you, sir?
25.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a professional esthetician.
What about you, Mr. De Jesus? What do you do?
Electrician.
How many children do you have, Miss Torres?
Just one.
How old?
He's 5.
Does he live with you?
Yes, he does.
Who supports him?
I do.
How many children do you have, Mr. De Jesus?
One, Your Honor.
Where does that child live?
Lives with his mother right now.
And who supports your child?
Well, I pay child support every month right now, and she has physical custody of him.
Do you pay child support for Miss Torres' child?
No, ma'am.
Because it's not your child.
Yes, ma'am.
It would be stupid for you to pay child support for Miss Torres' child because the child doesn't belong to you.
Yes.
Child has a mother and a father,
Yeah.
and the mother and father should pay child support.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is what your lawsuit is about, Miss Torres. You and Mr. De Jesus had the unfortunate experience of being engaged to each other for a period of time. And while you were so involved, Mr. De Jesus fell behind in his child support, among other things. But this is what your lawsuit is about. And it is your claim that you made a loan to him so that he wouldn't go to jail to pay his child support.
Yes.
Now, Mr. De Jesus says she paid the child support. You acknowledge.
Yes, I did. Yes, she paid it for me.
But it was a gift. Now do you understand my preliminary questions?
Oh, yes. Clear as a bell.
So I asked you a couple of seconds ago, Mr. De Jesus, you wouldn't pay child support for her child, right?
Yeah.
Because the child's not yours.
Nope.
Child has a mother and a father.
Yep.
Parents are supposed to pay for their own children.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And if you don't pay child support for your child, you're a bum.
Yeah, basically.
Perfect. How much did you give him to pay the child support?
$2,400.
And how much time was he facing in jail if he didn't pay the child support?
2 years.
Ah.
It would have been his second time going to jail for not paying his child support.
That's a bum times 2. Now, Miss Torres, I mean, he's easy to take care of. You know, I could take care of 10 of him with this pinky. 10 of him. My question to you is, you don't look like a marginal person, articulate. You look somebody in the eye when you speak to them. You have a child that you support, lives with you. What are you doing with him? I mean, are things so desperate out there that you got to pick a bum who's got one child and has fallen behind twice in child support to the extent that the second time they were going to put him in jail for 2 years? You're going to get your $2,400 because that's what he owes you. Because he doesn't want to pay for your child and you shouldn't have to pay for his. Right, Mr. DeJesus?
Yeah,
right.
It wasn't $2,400. She only gave me $1,000. The rest of it I raised myself.
Show me the $2,400, Miss Torres.
She knows that it was $1,000 that she gave me.
This is the check.
And the rest of it was raised
This is the check
up
that
and
I
all
had
put
signed.
together.
This is where it came out of my son's bank account.
Because the money
and
was
it got,
deposited
no,
in there
it
so
was
that we could
not.
write a check out for it because I can't get cash.
And I got my money in there.
She knows that the reason the money was deposited was so that I could write a check out because I had to have record of the money that I'm paying.
No,
for
and
my
I
child
have
support.
a piece of paper.
Well, no time around the withdrawal of this $2,400, sir, did anybody put in $1,500?
It was sporadically put in. It was $200 here. As I kept raising the money, I would put the money into the account because the court date was coming. When the court
You
date
should have
came,
kept better
we
records.
deposited.
What kind of an excuse did you give to the mother of your child every time you didn't send money?
I mean,
Checks in the mail?
We both spoke. We speak every time we see each other. She knows if I'm late and when she's going to get her money.
Let me ask you this question, Mr. DeJesus. Yesterday, did you eat dinner?
Yeah.
And you have a cell phone?
No.
You have a regular phone?
No, actually, no. Thanks to Miss Torres here, I don't have nowhere to live actually right now.
I was paying for everything for you.
She
Miss
took
Torres,
my car.
Miss Torres,
threw my clothes away.
Does he have a problem that's eating up the money that he's earning from being an electrician?
From what I'm concerned, I don't know. But
You don't
when
know.
I met him, he did have problems.
Yeah.
Yes.
All I'm doing is telling you, I know. And you have a responsibility because you have a 5-year-old child. You're only supposed to bring the right kind of people into their lives. You got it?
Yes.
Judge for the plaintiff for the amount of $2,400. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Now, this is case number 252 on the calendar in the matter of Hodges versus Baumgart.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Miss Hodges, this used to be your boyfriend, and you lived together for a brief period of time. It is your claim that April of 2006, Mr. Baumgart assaulted you. In addition to assaulting you, he damaged your car by kicking it, and in a fit of rage, he destroyed certain property. Mr. Baumgart says he never assaulted you, but he does, in fact, acknowledge that he kicked the taillights out of your car. That he acknowledges. Okay. When did you move in together?
In February of 2006. February 4th.
Did you move into a new apartment that you got, or did you move into his place, or he moved into yours?
I moved into his place that he owned with his mother.
And you moved in with your 9-year-old daughter?
Right.
And this argument happened in April. April what?
It was Saturday night, April 29th.
Tell me what happened, Miss Hodges.
Ernie's 2 kids were at their mother's house, and my daughter was at her father's house. He had worked all day. I had worked all day. So we didn't have the kids. We decided to go out dancing. It was already late when we left, probably 10 o'clock at night. And the first place we went was Banana Factory. I used to work there, and they didn't have any music to dance to. That's what Ernie wanted to dance. So we left, went to a second place, decided not to stay there. And the third place we went to was another Banana Factory. And everything was fine. We walked in, we ordered a drink. My witness, Randy Wood, was the bartender that night. As soon as we ordered the drink, we got up and we went and we danced. And Ernie actually, when we were dancing, we were slow dancing, was telling me, let's just go to Claire's, we'll get a cheapy ring, let's just get married. I mean, we were having a great time. And I had bought a horse the day before. So when we went back to sit down, we started talking about the horse I bought. And I just mentioned to him that it's not every day you see a bunch of black cowboys.
Could you speak slowly?
Okay.
I'm having trouble.
All right. And Ernie says, you mean to tell me that you hung out with a bunch of racial slurs? And
that's not true. That's not true. Excuse me, Your Honor. That's not true.
And that's when my drink came at me, and he smashed the ashtray, and he stormed out of the bar. And my witness, like I said, was the bartender that night.
You were the bartender that night, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you step up? Tell me your name.
Randy Wood.
You remember this incident?
Yes, I do.
Tell me what you observed.
Well, they had come in and went around to the end of the bar. I went over and introduced myself, and they introduced themselves. They ordered a couple of drinks. I gave him a rum and coke, Cap Morgan, and I gave her a margarita. And then they got up and went out and danced on the dance floor. I was just waiting on other people. I went back down to the end when they came back from the dance floor, and I went over to clean some glasses in the sink. Next thing I know, the ashtray gets smashed and a drink gets thrown, and it hits
Well,
me
the
and
ashtray
smashes
got
against the
smashed
cooler.
by whom? Mr. Baumgart.
Yes, ma'am.
And the drink got thrown by whom at whom?
At her, missed her, hit me, and smashed against the cooler.
So he threw the glass.
He threw the glass.
You must have been pretty angry, sir.
Yeah, if you tell the story correctly.
I don't care whether you told the story correctly or not. You must have been pretty angry.
Yeah, I was extremely upset.
Anything else? And then he left.
He left, and shortly after that, I tried to ask her what happened, and she went right up behind him a couple minutes later.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Go ahead.
So I did. I followed him outside. He was sitting in his truck. His face was white, and his eyes were really dark. I hadn't seen him like that before, and the truck door was open. And I asked him, "Are you seriously going to leave me here?" And I just backed away from the door. He took off like a crazy person, took off down the street. A gentleman pulled up. He wasn't a friend of mine, but I had seen him from being in this place I used to work. He asked me if everything was okay. I said, "I don't know what just happened." He's like, "Can I buy you a drink? Can I give you a ride?" I said, "You know what, a ride would be great." He took me home. My keys were in Ernie's truck, so when I got home, I crawled through the doggy door and came in, and my phone is just ringing and ringing and ringing, and it's him. And I just ignored it. I figured he left me at the bar, let him worry. I figured he couldn't find me, so I plugged the phone in the charger, went and laid down, and I woke up to him grabbing me by the hair, flinging me into the wall.
No.
Don't
Excuse me, Your
speak
Honor.
yet.
Excuse me.
Don't speak yet. Go ahead.
Our bedroom had a sliding glass door, so I go through the sliding glass door, and our bathroom was there. So I go to get in the bathroom, and he's pushing on the door as I'm like behind the door pushing, and there's like a little alcove there. And he gets the door open, and when he gets behind me, he grabs me by the hair. He's beating my head against the wall. And then I came out from behind the door, and then he takes my head sideways and hits it on the wall there, and the toilet paper holder thing was there, and I was worried he was going to like hit my head on the toilet paper roll. And then he hit my head, like smashed my face on the floor. It was very fast. But after he hit my head that time, I had told him, I said, "Ernie, stop, you're going to kill me." And I start kicking at the door, hoping it'll fall. And it actually did, and I got wedged. And I have a photo to show you here. Because it fell over me, he wasn't able to get to me. So he starts kicking me, like from underneath it. And that's my injuries, my whole arm right here.
You have photos of that?
Yes.
I'd like to see the photos, and I'd like to see your medical report, please.
This is it's the bathroom door, just so you can see where I was kicking it and where it fell.
No, just photographs of you and the medical report, please.
Okay. Okay. I also have the EMS report from when the ambulance came that evening. If you'd
I'd like to see it, please.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Baumgart, my next question is to you, sir, and I'm going to get back to this alleged assault in a moment. When did you kick the taillights out of a car?
Just after she told me I was going to jail, and she ran next door to grab the...
So the same evening?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Baumgart, I would like you now to tell me your version of the events of that evening, starting at the bar.
This was the fourth bar we had been to, her drinking margaritas, and I was drinking the Captain Morgan. That was all true. We did dance. All this was true. She decided to tell me how she purchased this horse, you know, that and it was through some sort of a sexual favor.
Give me a break.
And that's where I got upset. I don't know how she's saying that I got upset, but that's where it came from. I stormed out of the bar. I did. I drove down the road a couple of miles. You know, I left her there. I was very upset. I turned around. I called her a few times to find out where she was at because I couldn't find her when I did turn around. Apparently she got in a ride with somebody within 10 minutes or whatever. I did it. I drove home. I unlocked the doors because they were still locked. Opened up the door, went in there, and she was extremely upset that I had left her at the bar, which I didn't blame her. But after what she had told me that night, I was still upset. So she took her cell phone and hit me in the arm with it.
I apologize.
I took the cell phone.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. I took the cell phone from her and threw it and smashed it. Then we proceeded to, I walked her out of the house to her car to tell her to leave, and we were arguing in the yard, and that's when my witness, Jeffrey, our neighbor, saw what had happened outside.
Outside?
Outside. And this is when I set her in her car. We were arguing in the car. She turned around and kicked me in the groin.
How do you set her in her car, sir? How do you do that? Physically, how do you do that? Explain the process.
By her arm.
So you touched her?
Yes, ma'am.
You touched her and put her in the car?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right.
I wanted her to leave. She turned and kicked me in the groin. I grabbed my reflex. I grabbed her foot and pulled her from the car. Jeffrey was screaming at me, told me to leave her alone, go back in the house, and I did.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You want me to believe that she punched herself so that when she went to the doctor the next day, she had numerous hematoma all over her body. That's what you want me to believe? Sit down, Jeffrey. We've had enough of each other.
And later today.
Do you have the police report indicating the theft? The answer is either yes. Don't close your mouth.
No.
When was it stolen?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Vicki Hodges claims ex-boyfriend Ernest Baumgard assaulted her during a fit of jealous rage. Vicki also claims Ernest shattered the taillights on her car.
Jeffrey, you didn't see anything that happened inside the house, did you?
No, I did not. I heard a lot of commotion.
But you didn't see anything that happened inside the house?
I physically could not see inside the house. That is correct.
When you saw what was going on outside, were you able to clearly see the faces of the people?
Absolutely. Okay. Vicki had came to my door, wanted me to call the cops.
When she came to your door, what did she say?
That Ernie was trying to kill her, quote unquote.
And she asked you to call the police?
Yes.
Did you?
At that point, I didn't have the phone with me. No, I did not at that point.
At any point, did you call the police?
Later on that evening, correct.
How much later?
After they had already called.
After who had already called?
The cops were called, Your Honor.
Oh, sir, that's outrageous.
No, it's not.
Oh, yes, it is, sir.
No violence was happening at that point,
Oh,
ma'am.
just a second. You have a woman coming to you in the middle of the night and saying, please call the police. Listen to me.
There were no marks on her, Your Honor.
Listen to me, sir. Listen to me, sir. Outrageous. You have a woman coming to you and saying, please call the police. He's trying to kill me. And I have a hospital record from a doctor that evening, which indicates that she has multiple contusions and abrasions all over. I'm speaking. Don't interrupt me when I'm speaking. All over her body. And you question, you decide to err. And you decide to err not in protecting somebody who's come to you in the middle of the night after what you say was a commotion next door, but you don't call the police until somebody else has called the police. Jeffrey, not smart of you, sir.
Your Honor, during this time, 4 different times, I told them both to separate. 4 different times.
Where did you receive your police training, Jeffrey?
I am not an officer of the law.
You are absolutely right. You're not supposed to tell them to separate.
But may I finish, Your Honor? There is some injustice being done here. May I finish?
Jeffrey,
I was concerned with Vicki and her. They were both physically drunk, Your Honor. Now, in the state of Florida...
Now, let me explain something to you, sir. I am reading from a medical record.
Do you realize that
I'm speaking, and you are not a police officer, and you're not a trained physician. The physician who examined her...
Which was in the afternoon, not that evening. She refused the ambulance aid card.
The EMS...
She refused it that evening.
Listen to me, sir, very carefully. The EMS worker who responded that evening, not the hospital the next morning, the EMS worker says, patient is not intoxicated. That's what the EMS worker said. It's right here. Right here.
That is incorrect.
All right. Well, it's incorrect. And
I smell alcohol, honey.
Just a second. My name is not Honey.
I'm sorry you're drunk.
And you may have smelled alcohol, but you can smell alcohol when somebody has had 1 drink, and you can smell alcohol when they've had 21 drinks.
Absolutely.
And what I'm telling you is, if a woman comes to your house and says, please call the police because he's going to kill me, if you're going to err, you err on the side of caution and you call the police. Because, let's say she was right, and you've already made a judgment. You didn't see any outward manifestations of assault. You felt that she was intoxicated, so you were going to handle this yourself. You made a mistake, sir. She was physically injured. And according to the doctor, the next day, I know you're shaking your head. I mean, I don't understand. You want me to believe, sir, that she went and flailed herself on a floor and hit herself, punched herself, or got somebody else to do it so that when she went to the doctor the next day, she had numerous hematoma all over her body. That's
correct.
what you want me to believe?
That
Sit
is
down,
correct,
Jeffrey.
sir.
Sit down, Jeffrey. We've had enough of each other.
I'm sorry.
You have any other notes from the district attorney or any other reports?
From the district attorney, no.
From whom?
I have Jeffrey's police statement, which he just contradicted himself
I'd like to
on.
see it, please.
I never came to his door. I was in the backyard being choked by Ernie.
Did you tell the police you thought she should be arrested, sir?
Yes, I did.
Did you tell the police that she came to your door?
Yes, I did.
Not in here.
That is on my written statement.
No, she was screaming. She said,
Your Honor,
we
maybe
were aware of something going on next door. When I came out, I
I'm in my
see
screen
Ernie
room at
telling
that point.
Vicky to leave and get off his property. She was screaming that I should call 911. You didn't tell the police she came to your door.
My screen room, it's all attached. And we talk at the screen door like it's a front door. I'm sorry. You know?
Well, that's a big difference.
That's
Listen to me, Jeffrey. There's a big difference between telling the police that you heard screaming outside and telling the police that this woman came to your door, knocked at your door, and said, please call the police. He's trying to kill me, which is what you told me a moment ago. Big difference. I do believe both are guilty of hitting each other. And I also believe she should be taken into custody.
The officer told me to absolutely put down my feelings the way I did it.
Oh, the officer told you to put down your feelings?
Mm-hmm.
In what
I had the
jurisdiction? In what jurisdiction do you live where an officer tells you to put down your feelings, Jeffrey? I never heard of that. I've been in law enforcement for 35 years.
Well, I'm sorry, Your Honor, but it was Bradenton, Florida.
Okay.
They both felt that they all should have been arrested.
California, maybe I would believe that an officer said, look, put down your feelings. Not in Florida. I live in Florida.
Make me lock
Florida,
inside.
they don't care about your feelings. They care about bruising. They care about hematomas.
There were no bruises, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Oh, yes, you're wrong, sir.
I'm sorry, Honor.
I'm sorry, too, Jeffrey. You're wrong. You made a mistake. And I believe that you exercised poor judgment that day, Jeffrey. You are responsible for this assault, Mr. Baumgart, and you are responsible for kicking the taillights on her car. She wants her deductible paid, $500. If you were mad enough to kick her car, which, by the way, I might add, Jeffrey doesn't indicate in here, then you are mad enough to kick her. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Ma'am, where's here?
Well, in his police report, he says that I slept with the guy I bought the horse from.
She just said that who else can get a horse for $300?
He told his attorney something different.
Nobody, without doing some kind of a favor.
He never, ever called me a name or was mean to me before that day.
To say that I assaulted her is just crazy.
So it came as a complete surprise.
And I guess she needed to pay some bills off, so here we are.
Just don't put up with it. One time and I was out of there.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Highmiller versus Loss. Step forward.
John Highmiller is suing his former friend, 25-year-old Heather Loss, for the value of a computer he claims she stole. Heather denies the charge and says she knows who stole it.
Mr. Highmiller, you and the defendant met at some sort of bar or club, and it is your claim that she took your computer without permission.
Yes, it is.
And Miss Loss says that she had your permission to take the computer.
No, she didn't.
I didn't ask you anything. This is going to be very, very quick and very painless. Miss Loss says that she had your permission to take the computer, not to take it, to borrow it, which she did. She took the computer home, and unfortunately, it was stolen out of her house.
Correct.
Is that right?
That is right.
Do you have the police report indicating the theft? The answer is either yes. Don't close your mouth.
No.
When did you borrow the computer?
In September.
When was it stolen?
About a week after I borrowed it from John.
What else was taken during the theft?
That is the only thing that got taken. It was out of my house, and I knew who did it, and I tried tracking him down, and I told John.
Just a minute. Who did it?
His name is Sean.
Is he a friend of yours?
Old friend.
An old friend of yours took his computer that you borrowed?
Correct. It was on the
How did he get into the house?
The door was open. I guess he's been watching the house.
So who left the door open?
I live at my dad's house, and I didn't have a key at the time. I just moved to my dad's house.
Oh, so it was your fault?
No, it wasn't my fault.
Well, that's your fault if you didn't have a key and you left the door open.
It was a quick, I had to make one errand, and I was coming right back.
Let's assume that I believe you, which I don't, because the story that you just gave me is a crock. but let us assume that I believe you, that you borrowed the computer with his permission, you brought it to your house, and it was taken. It was taken by somebody you know who had access to your house because you left the house open. That is your fault. I want you to repeat after me. It was my fault.
It wasn't my fault.
Oh,
I called him and told him the laptop was gone.
I don't care what you called and told him. You left the door open to your house because you didn't have a key. If I believe the story that you're telling me, so it just makes my life much easier to believe the story that you're telling me. I mean, I don't even have to stress about whether or not you borrowed it, or you had permission to take it, or you didn't have permission to take it. Do you understand? You left the door open. Unfortunately, in this day and age, we don't do that. His property was taken. You're responsible. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,900. Thank you very much. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He was making sexual advances to me all the time.
That's case number 280 on the calendar in the matter of Cole versus Moser. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Miss Cole, the defendant's son, that probably would be you,
yes, ma'am,
threw a chair at your car.
Yes, ma'am.
And allegedly damaged it. And you want the defendants to pay for the cost of repairing your car.
Correct.
Me, I'd want the kid to pay, but he's only 16, so if I rule against the parents, it's the parents' responsibility to torture him by hopefully making him get a job and do something. You can stand up next to your parents, please. The defendant says that he did throw a chair at your car, right?
Yes, I did.
But that you deserved it, right?
Yes.
Miss Cole, do you know these people?
Not very well. They live up the street from me.
How long have you lived there?
About a year.
How long have you lived in your house?
A year.
And who do you live with, Miss Cole?
I live with my boyfriend, Derek Nesbitt.
When did this incident occur?
It was August 21st of 2006 at 9:30 p.m.
Tell me what happened.
I had just dropped my boyfriend off at work, and I was on my way home, and I turned onto our street. They live on like the second house on the street, and the chair came and hit my window and kind of rolled down my car, and I swerved over, pulled over, and got out. And I was angry and scared at the same time. I was 6 months pregnant at the time, and I asked him if he had anything else to throw at my effing truck, and they were just screaming at me to slow down. And I got back in my truck, and I told them I was going to let my boyfriend handle it because I'm not a confrontational kind of person.
Good. Very smart.
So I got back in my car, I went home and called the police. The officer came to my home and asked me to drive around to their house. I had my sister and her friend with me at the time, and we went around there, and me and I believe his father and the officer were just looking at my vehicle when I'm not sure how many people were there. More than 5, 6 people were in the street with my sister and her friend arguing and cursing, and I got so overwhelmed with them yelling, calling me a criminal. I could have hit their children or their pets. Or
you think you were going too fast?
I do not. I had just turned a corner, so I don't believe I was speeding, no.
Okay. Do you work, Miss Cole?
I do. Right now I'm on maternity leave, though.
All right, young man. Why don't you tell me about what happened on August 21st?
Well, we were sitting outside, and we were
Who was sitting outside?
Me and everybody seen here, and I had some friends over because we were going to go ride.
Riding where?
Ride my bike, just ride around town. And she comes hauling around the corner. She doesn't even lose any speed around the corner. And before, when she went down the street first, she was going pretty fast, and we all yelled at her to slow down. And then on our way back, about 20, 30 minutes later, she comes hauling around the corner, loses no speed at all, and I'm sitting in a chair, and my reaction is just to throw it.
Well, you can't do that.
No.
You can't do that. That's outrageous. It's very simple. I wish they were all so simple. If you think she's speeding, she's not doing the right thing, call the police. And if you think she's acting in an irresponsible manner, send her a letter that she's endangering people in the street. But you don't pick up an object and throw it at her. What if you had a gun in your hand? Would you have shot her?
No.
Well, what if you threw a chair at her and she lost control of her car and went into a tree and got hurt?
But what if it was my friends on the bike, or me on the bike, or my little cousin?
They weren't. You were sitting on your porch, in your chair. But what if you threw a chair at her car and she lost control of her car and swerved off and went into somebody's porch where they were sitting on their porch? You know whose fault that would be?
Mine.
Right. We don't have vigilantes here. You ever been in trouble with the law before? Look at me. Have you ever been in trouble with the law before?
No, not a big Trouble.
Not a big trouble? No. What kind of little trouble?
Just like curfew.
What does that mean, like curfew?
Just being out like 10 minutes past curfew.
Right. You think I believe that? Can I see pictures of the truck?
Yes, ma'am.
I just have a couple of things to ask. First of all, we were sitting in the driveway, not on a porch.
I don't care if you're sitting on the driveway or the porch or in your
We've already asked her plenty of times as she was driving down our street to slow down.
How have you asked her, Mr. Moser?
Well, yelling at her while she's...
That's not asking her.
It is asking her.
No, Mr. Moser.
Okay, we're telling her.
No, Mr. Moser. What you do is you write her a letter.
We didn't know where she lived.
Then you call the police.
We
and you
did.
Give them, when?
We called the police the very first time. They said that the only thing you can get is a license plate number.
So why didn't you do that?
We didn't. She's going too fast.
Oh, Mr. Moser, that's a lot of baloney.
Well, okay.
That's
fine.
a lot of baloney, sir.
Right.
Because, listen to me, if you saw this lady time and time again coming past your house, and she lives a block away from where you live, then you go and look for her car in the year that she's been living there. So don't give me a lot of baloney.
She lives behind another house.
When was the last time, sir, that you followed the car to try to get a license plate to give the police?
I'm
which
not
is
a
what
cop.
they said.
That's not my job.
No, but it's your son's job to throw a chair at the
It's
car.
her job to be responsible for the vehicle.
It's not your job to police her, Mr. Moser. That's not your job.
Right.
Your job is to police your own children.
And I was doing that.
You weren't policing your children.
Well, someone needs to police her.
That's the job of the police,
Well,
not your
you're asking me
16-year-old
to follow
son.
her.
Oh, you're an idiot. No wonder he threw a chair at
So
her.
he's an idiot too, then.
Well, he is, certainly. The apple don't fall far from the tree, Mr. Moser.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If he threw a chair at her car and she was killed, you would be visiting him in state's prison. And if you don't get that, I can't do anything about it. You're too old and too thick.
And later today,
Who are the witnesses?
They're neighbors across the street from them.
You live across the street from them?
Yes.
My sympathies.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Carrie Cole claims neighbor Justin Snoke threw a chair at her car while she was driving down the street. Justin says Carrie was driving like a maniac.
Listen to me very carefully, sir. If she's doing the wrong thing, it's not the right of a citizen to do any more than report the action to the police. It is not the right of a citizen to pick up a chair and throw it in her car.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I
Let me give
understand
you
that.
another example, sir. Let us say you're standing over an overpass with a large boulder, and you see someone going 85 miles an hour in a 55-mile zone. You think that you have the right to drop that boulder on their car?
No.
Why not? That's your theory. Your theory is you're endangering people, and therefore I have the right to protect my family. You think your son would have the right to do that?
Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. We were playing ball out in the street. And
No, you were not. That's a lie. That is a bold-faced lie.
No, because listen, the very first time this lady came down our street, we were playing ball in the middle of the street. She did not slow down for us at all. We grabbed the kids.
That's not true, Jan.
Shut a second. Of course it's not true.
Okay.
He's making it up as he's going along. Making it up as he's going along. But on the way home, he's sitting with his behind in a chair. Wasn't dangerous.
The incident playing the ball was not on the same time.
Several times for 3 months to slow down.
Call the police.
We did.
You
on the
don't
night of the
throw
incident.
a chair.
The night of the incident, before the chair was thrown.
Just a second. Would you do me a favor? Go and tell him I've had enough of him, please. I've told him. I had enough. Mr. Moser, listen to me. You're wrong. And if you don't get it, I feel sorry for you. And if your son's broken curfew before, and I just have a sense, right here, based on my experience, that a 10-minute curfew violation isn't the only difficulty you've had with him, sir.
He's never been a problem.
Well, I guarantee you. Father like you, he's gonna be.
Well.
Can I have an estimate of the damage, please?
I also have a police report if you would like to see it.
No, I don't have to see it.
Would you like to see the letter from the police officer that responded to the incident?
No, I would not.
Even it states everything that she stated at the time of the accident.
Listen to me very carefully, sir. I don't have to hear any hearsay or look at any hearsay. It's as simple a case as I would want to try 30 times a day. If she was speeding, that's not what I'm here for. What I'm here for is your son's act in picking up a chair and throwing it at her moving car. That he cannot do. And if you don't get it, I can't help you, sir. You've reached this age in your life when you are beyond redemption and beyond help. Say nothing else. The case as far as you're concerned, is over. She may have done the wrong thing. I am not here to judge that. That is up to the police.
We did that night.
Here's right here.
Put it down. You don't get it.
You just got to make a statement that the police are doing their job. Well, then read what the police did for his job.
I don't know how I can make it any more plain to you, sir. If your son threw a chair at her car and she lost control of the car and she were killed, he would have been charged with manslaughter. Do you understand that?
I understand
Do you understand that? Whether she was speeding, whether she was coking up in the car, whether she was drinking. If he threw a chair at her car and her car went out of control and she was killed, you would be visiting him in state's prison. And if you don't get that, I can't do anything about it. You're too old and too thick. How much did it cost you to fix the car?
$932.
Judgment for the plaintiff, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The damage that they're asking for is not all the damage. Her window was up. How do you damage a seatbelt when the window's up?
I was 6 months pregnant at the time. It could have been much worse, and thank goodness it wasn't.
I was in the wrong, you're right, but I mean, I still believe, what if it was my little cousin?
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Carey versus Taylor. Step forward.
24-year-old Matthew Carey is suing the boyfriend of his child's mother, 21-year-old Brian Taylor, for vandalizing his truck. Brian claims Matthew showed up at his house looking for a fight.
Mr. Carey, Mr. Taylor, according to your complaint, is the current boyfriend of your ex-girlfriend. And you and your ex-girlfriend have a child together, a little girl.
Yes, we do.
According to your complaint, you were at your ex-girlfriend's house in order to drop your daughter off, and Mr. Taylor lost his cool and damaged your car. Mr. Taylor says he had no business being there and denies causing any damage to your car. Is that right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Taylor, how long have you been with Mr. Carey's former girlfriend?
About a year and a half.
You have a child together?
Yes, ma'am.
How old is the child?
5 months.
How many people live in your home?
Me, my fiance, our kids, and
How many kids?
2.
The daughter that she shares with Mr. Carey
Yes,
and
ma'am.
your child.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you work?
No, I don't.
How do you support yourself?
They support me.
Who's they?
My fiance and her family.
Why?
Because she goes to school, and I watch the kids.
How old are you?
21.
In whose house do you live?
Her grandmother's.
Who else lives there?
Her grandmother and her brother.
How old is your fiance?
21.
She didn't work either.
No, full-time student.
No wonder everyone wants to come to America. How old are you, sir?
24 years old.
You work?
Yes, I do.
Who do you work for?
Construction company.
How old is your daughter?
Almost 3.
Pay child support?
Yes.
How much?
$40 a week. And I take her 4 days a week.
Who do you make the payments to?
Maria.
Directly?
Yep.
That's not true, Your Honor. It's not $40 a week. It's $40 a month if I'm lucky.
Don't worry about him. Worry about yourself. Get a job.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
We're not talking about some prehistoric theory here. We're talking about how civilized human beings behave, not people who have too much time on their hands.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Matthew Carey claims his ex's new boyfriend, Brian Taylor, vandalized his truck during a custody exchange.
Okay, tell me about this incident when it happened, sir.
It was on 9/14. I've never been to Ariana's school before to pick her up. I had a day off of work, and I called Maria and told her that I wanted to come and get my daughter, meet the teachers for the first time. I went to go pick up my daughter.
And she said okay.
Yeah, she met me at the school.
Stand up, please. You met Mr. Carey at the school?
Yes.
Okay, what's your last name?
Atherini's.
What happened?
I picked her up about 30 to 40 minutes later. My boss had called me from work, asked me if I could come in on an emergency call. So I called Maria up and said that if I could drop her off.
What does she go to, daycare?
It's like a pre-K.
Well, if she's 3 years old, she doesn't go to pre-kindergarten.
It's like a Head Start program.
How many days a week does she go?
4.
So why doesn't he work? He just told me he stays home to watch the kids.
Well, he watches his own son. We have a son.
Why doesn't he work at night?
It's my family time, ma'am.
You can have family time as long as you're employed.
It's hard when she goes to school all day and I would work all night. That would be hard to have family time.
Whatever.
Mr. Taylor, that's a joke, so you should have thought of that before you made a baby. Sure. Having your family time.
Sure.
What people do when they have babies is they get a job and they support them. I don't support them. He doesn't support them. The state doesn't support them. And I'm absolutely positive if I looked in your bank account, I'd find out that somebody else was supporting your child other than the grandmother. Would that be a fair statement, sir?
No, ma'am.
No? Guarantee it. Head Start is a program that we pay for. Not you, because you don't work. Okay, so you called her and told her you were coming over. So far, is that correct?
Yes.
How long did it take you to get there?
I told her, give me about 20 minutes, I'll call you when I'm on my way. So I called after the 20 minutes. He answered the phone the second time, and he said, no, she's not here. Don't the F word, call here again. So, it's not the first time that he did something like that. So what I did is I drove around the block, seen that her car was there, pulled up in the driveway and beeped the horn. And then she came outside. She went to my car passenger back door, grabbed my daughter. He came out the door and just came to my window and just started doing a number on my vehicle.
What kind of a number was he doing on your vehicle?
At first, he punched the window, and then he just started kicking the door, trying to get me to come out my vehicle to fight him.
No, that's not true.
That's a lie.
What did you go outside for, Mr. Taylor?
Because he called me, threatening me that he wanted to fight with me. So what happened was he came to the house. I came outside. I noticed he had hammers.
What did you go, just a second. What did you go outside for?
Because he came to my house. He had just called me.
Just a second. What did you go outside for?
Because he showed up at my house.
Call the police. If somebody called my house and said, I'm coming over to your house to beat you up, you call the police and you say, some nut who used to go with my fiance is coming to the house with a 3-year-old child and he wants to beat me up. You don't go outside because it's clear to me he came with her daughter and his daughter. She came out and she got the child.
His intentions weren't just to drop off the child, though. They were to fight.
That's not
Just
true,
a second. Aren't you getting what I'm saying to you? You got your daughter. He goes into your house. He closes the door, goes over to the phone, and he calls the police. And he says, some nut is in my driveway, and he wants to fight with me. He doesn't go outside to the car. You get it?
Yes.
I mean, we're not talking about some prehistoric theory here. We're talking about how civilized human beings behave, not people who have too much time on their hands.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to JudgeJudy.com or call 1-888-800-JUDY.
Can I see pictures of the car, please?
Yeah, I have pictures and I also have witnesses and estimates.
Who are the witnesses? Are the witnesses relatives, friends?
They're neighbors across the street from them.
I'd like to hear them, please. Tell me your name.
Antoinette Degner.
Degner. And you, sir?
I'm Don Degner.
You live across the street from them?
Yes. Yes.
My sympathies. You want to tell me what you observed on September 14th?
We were in our house and we had the door open. It was a nice day. And I heard somebody outside ranting and raving, get the F out of the car and all kinds of bad language. So I stood up and looked out the window and I seen this gentleman over here and he just started punching and kicking the car. And Matthew went to pull back out of the driveway and he gave the car another kick and put a nice dent in the front quarter panel. And I don't know any of these kids. So I ain't biased, against any of them. I don't know any of them.
And the baby was outside.
The baby was outside?
Yes, the baby was 4 feet from his truck.
Who was holding the baby?
Nobody. The baby
Maria
was standing
trying
there
to
first.
calm it down. And Mr. Taylor grabbed the baby and put the baby up on the porch, and Maria brought the baby inside.
Thank you very much. You may be seated.
Nobody said nothing about the hammer that he tried getting out of the vehicle with.
He never got out of the vehicle.
Just a second.
I didn't let him.
Listen to me. He damaged his car. You have to find something more constructive to do with your time than sitting around the house, doing nothing. Find a daycare for your son and go get a job. You made him. You support him. She doesn't work. You don't work. The state gives you enough stipends, whether it be from Head Start or WIC or whatever else it is, so that you don't have to do anything but sit home in her grandmother's house and be supported by other people. That's not the real world, sir. The real world is if you're old enough to make a baby, you're old enough to support it. How much did it cost you to fix your car?
$1,300. And I have proof that I had to take off of work for the window.
How was the window broken? Now the window's broken.
Be quiet.
Go up and down. The window. How was the window damaged?
There are ways to express your affection for someone, madam, other than having children. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500. That's all. Step out.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
My children are not.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge...
On the calendar in the matter of Vickers versus Ruffin. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
Mr. Vickers, it is your claim that the defendant, who is your former girlfriend, vandalized your car, which was being driven by your present girlfriend. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't see this. You didn't witness any of this.
No, ma'am.
So let's see. What date did this occur?
It happened on August 2nd going into August 3rd, probably about 12:30 or so. So I guess August 3rd, 2001.
And according to your complaint and the defendant's answer, you and the defendant have a child together. Is that right?
Yes.
A boy?
Yes.
How old?
He's 3.
And you live in different states?
Yes.
The defendant had driven to where you live with your son for the purpose of talking and you spending some time with your son. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And she drove down to where you lived on August 2nd.
Yes.
According to you, you stayed home for the day, spent some time with your son, but when he went to sleep, you left him with his grandfather
Yes, ma'am.
and went out
Yes.
for the evening.
Right.
I assume at some point you saw your present girlfriend.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the present girlfriend.
Yes.
And at some point you exchanged cars with her. You took her car, she took your car because she wanted to drive your new car.
Yes.
And then you came home.
Yes, ma'am.
About what time did you get home?
I probably got home about 1 a.m.
But you were alone.
I was alone, yes.
And what happened when you got home?
When I got home, I was driving another vehicle. So the defendant wouldn't have recognized me because I was in a car that she wasn't familiar with. I drove down my street and I saw someone sitting on my front porch, but I didn't know who the individual was sitting on the front porch because I hadn't been expecting anyone. I made a right-hand turn, drove down a little bit, turned around and parked the vehicle, got out of the vehicle, and walked up to my house. And when I walked up, I recognized that it was her. She asked me where our son was. I told her that he was inside with his grandfather. She made a couple statements about how can I go out and leave my son with his grandfather when she drove all the way from Cleveland, Ohio to bring him with me. But the purpose of my leaving out was just, I was only out probably for 1/2 hour or so. My father was there. He was responsible for the child at the time, just to take my vehicle and exchange it. And I came right back.
Totally unnecessary, by the way.
Okay.
Totally unnecessary. Not necessary for your girlfriend to drive your car when you have a son who you hadn't seen in how long?
Probably about 2 weeks or so.
4 months.
4 months.
Hadn't seen him in 4 months.
Okay. So that was totally unnecessary for you to go out that evening. How long was he going to be there?
He was going to be there for the weekend.
So for the weekend, you give up the girlfriend, especially the girlfriend who has to have a new car to drive. So you can understand why she's mad. If you don't understand why she's mad, I'm going to tell you that I understand why she was mad.
Okay.
Okay? Let's start with that. You have an absolute right to be annoyed. You drove down so we could spend some time. You come back, you don't know whether he's gone for a half hour, 4 hours, 3 hours, all
Actually,
you know
I know how long. He was gone about 2 hours, an hour and a half.
Probably that long.
Yeah, because I was there, and I knew exactly where my son was because I'd spoken to his father. I was in the house, and I'd been there for quite some time.
And he was gone.
And he was gone, yes.
So you were really annoyed, and I really understand that. And if he doesn't, what can I tell you? Okay, so you had a verbal confrontation with her, and what happened?
The conversation turned where it became a physical confrontation now. She grabbed me in the collar, ripping my shirt. And I went into the house and called 911 and asked 911 to send an officer out to my home. So as I'm on the phone, I'm continuing trying to keep her at bay from further attacking me. So I hung up the phone from 911 and she continued to come after me. So I grabbed her and I put her down on the ground and she just totally just ripped my shirt off. At that time I got up, she took her belt off and began slinging her belt crazy. I ran back into the house, called 911 again, asking them to hurry up and send a police officer out to my address. By this time I'm inside waiting for the police officer to come and she's standing outside. When the police finally arrive, I come out, I tell the police officer what had happened and that I had placed a call. And she told the police officer that she wanted her son. I didn't have any objections to that. I told the police officer that she can have the son. Matter of fact, they could go up and get the child.
Was he awake or asleep at this
Oh, he was asleep. The police officer informed both of us that since this was a domestic issue, that both of us could go to jail and the child would be put into foster care. So at that point, I didn't want that.
Yeah.
So I just went into the house, and her and the police officer remained outside and talked for a little while. She came back up, the police officer came back up, they went upstairs, got the child, and she and the police officer and the child left. I went back upstairs to go to bed. and that was the last time that I saw her.
Okay. Now, who witnessed the vandalizing of your car?
Both of these individuals here.
Step up, please. Tell me your name.
Jacqueline McLaren.
All right, Mr. McLaren. You're driving his car.
Yes.
What happened later that evening?
As I was driving his car, me and my friend was going to go to a party. It was an after party we were invited to.
An after party?
Yes. It was later than a normal party. We were outside for a while on the opposite side of the party, on the opposite side of the street. And we made a U-turn, and as I was getting ready to do a parallel park, a black sedan pulled up beside us. And it was on my driver's side, and the person, Miss Ruffin, was looking at me, and she looked upset. And at first I didn't know who it was, and I was like, you know, who's this person? What's wrong with her? Why is she looking at me? Then I recognized her from some pictures that I had seen. And I said, oh, that's his son's mother. And she just kept looking at us, looking upset, and then she pulled up in front of me as if to cut me off, and then made a U-turn in the middle of the street and took off in the opposite direction.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jacqueline McLaren says she was driving her boyfriend's SUV when it was vandalized by his ex-girlfriend, Alice Ruffin. Jacqueline's boyfriend, Daryl Vickers, is suing for the cost to replace his rear window.
All right, Mr. McLaren. What kind of car were you
It
driving?
was a Montero, a truck.
What color?
Silver.
That was his truck?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So at that time, I decided that I wasn't going to park the car where I originally planned on parking it. So then I pulled up to the intersection, made another U-turn, and parked on the opposite side of the truck. When I parked, I stepped out of the truck and I noticed two gentlemen were standing outside, and this guy right here. And then I said, are you going to be out here for a while? And he said, yes.
Did you know him before?
No, I didn't, no. And I said, well, can you do me a favor and keep an eye on this truck? And he said, no problem. So then I went inside to the party, and when I got in, I just didn't feel right. I just didn't feel comfortable. So I kept looking out the window, like every now and then checking on the truck. I said maybe 20, 25 minutes. I noticed this young lady, she had something in her hand and she threw it at the back of the truck. And you know, I stood there for a minute, you know, looking at it like, oh my goodness. And then I left the window, went to go get my girlfriend, and I told her what happened. So we left to go downstairs, and someone saying, who's in here driving a silver truck? You need to go outside and check on your truck. As I got outside, I saw him, and he said, this lady just threw a brick in your truck.
Okay, tell me your name, sir.
My name is Joe Lewis.
Did you know any of these people before?
No.
Tell me what you observed that night, and about what time was it?
I want to say about 12, more like 12:40.
What did you see?
I just came out of the store. Me and my cousin were talking. He lived directly across the street. She had said, when she had got out the truck, she said, if you guys are going to be standing here for a moment, you know, can you look
Keep
at
an
the
eye
truck?
on the truck.
Right. I say about 15 minutes later, I saw a black car pull down a side street. Young lady got out of the car. She walked towards the back of the vehicle. I didn't know she had an object in her hand, but all you heard was psh. You heard a big splash noise. Me and my cousin looked at each other like his windows just got busted. From there, she jetted back to her automobile. She did a U-turn.
Describe the automobile she was driving.
I just know it was black, four-door sedan. Had like white tan plates. Wasn't the New York State tags.
Did you recognize the lady?
Not really.
Did you identify her?
The clothing that she had on. Her hair could have been...
What kind of clothing did she have on?
Like light-colored pants. Could be pink, could be white.
Did you see if there was anybody else in the car?
No.
Couldn't see, or you didn't notice?
Didn't notice.
Didn't notice whether there was a child in the back of the car?
No, because she pulled off on the side street.
She pulled off on the side street and then came over to the car?
Walked right behind the truck.
And then just left?
Walked back to her car and pulled out.
So you couldn't tell me, as you were standing here today, if this is the young lady who did it? From
across the street? Mm-mm.
Okay. But you recognized her?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming today. Okay, Ms. Ruffin, let me hear you.
Okay, well, I am here today, and I just want to say that I did not do what Mr. Vickers is saying that I did. Mr. Vickers is strapped for cash because I filed child support, and he's very, very, very bitter.
He may be very, very bitter. He's talking about an incident that occurred where he says you were so angry that you threw a rock at his car.
Okay, well, I didn't do it, and
I think you did.
I don't. You think I did it?
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
Oh, I think you did it.
all right.
I think you may have felt at that moment that you had the right to do it. You had the right to do something. If it wasn't throwing a rock at his head, you decided to do his car instead, because the closest thing to a man is usually his car. And if you couldn't get him, you were going to get his car. You behaved very badly that night, Miss Ruffin. Not just with the car, even before the car at his house. I can understand that you were angry.
What did I do at his house?
You became physical with him.
No. He became physical with me.
Really? Why would he call the police if he became physical with you?
Okay, let me just go back to the story that he said. I went to his family reunion and I saw him there. That was probably the second time that I'd ever seen his vehicle, so he says. When he left his family's get-together, he said, I'm going back home and I'm going to bed. You can come by later if you want to talk.
You mean that was on August 2nd?
This was on August 4th. This was Saturday, because I left early that morning. This was Friday night, Saturday morning.
Okay.
When I left the family reunion, I went over to a girlfriend's house who was having a bridal shower that weekend, and I sat with them for a while, and they were going out, and I wasn't.
Just tell me what happened when you got back to his house and you found he wasn't there and you waited for him.
Okay, when I got back to his house, I sat, I talked to his father for a little bit.
Fine, you talked to his father. He finally came home. What I want to know is he finally came home.
Okay, well, this is why I'm going to tell you this, because I was sitting on his porch. I had just called a phone number that his brother had given me and said it was his cell phone. I called the phone, and a female answers. And I said, well, may I speak to Fahim? That's what I call him. And she says, who is this? I said, oh, no, who is this? She said, this is Jackie. I said, well, I'm looking for Fahim, and I hung up the phone. About 10 minutes later, he comes storming around the corner. And no, I wouldn't have recognized him, because I didn't even see him get out of a vehicle. And he comes storming around the corner, get your stuff, get your things, get your son, get out my house. So when I proceeded to walk, I got up, and I walked over to him. He slapped my glasses off my face. I can't see a thing without them. And he attacked me. But then I thought it was rather cruel for him to call 911 and say that I was attacking him and that I had a weapon.
Are you telling me you didn't take your belt off?
Oh, yeah, I took my belt off. Because I can't beat him. Look at him. Look at him. He hit me. He busted my lips.
That day, he busted your lip?
That night.
That night? Let me see the police report.
We didn't file one because they said we can't. They said if we filed a police report.
Did you bust her lip?
No, I didn't.
I don't believe he busted your lip at all.
I had blood all over my clothes.
If you had blood all over your clothes that was yours, they would have arrested him. Okay, Miss Ruffin, did you go to the hospital that night?
Yes, no, I went to the hospital when I returned home because I don't know anything about that.
You have a report from the hospital when you returned
I
home?
didn't bring it.
Your Honor, she lived in Rochester for over 10 years. She's more than familiar with the procedures of going to the hospital.
Okay, but I don't believe that you assaulted her, sir. I don't believe that you assaulted her. I believe she lost her temper.
I've never hit this man in my life until that night. He's always hit me.
Right. Can I see the bill for the car, please? What? She busted a car window. That's not $2,000 worth of damage.
She busted a rear window, broke all of the decals. She did a lot of damage to the vehicle. It was a rather big brick. She did a lot of damage. I also have other pictures that would indicate when she threw the brick through the rear window, there was a bottle of bleach in the back cargo area of my vehicle, and the brick bust the top of the bottle of bleach, spilling the bleach all over the back of the vehicle.
What year car is this, sir?
It's a 2001. It was a brand new vehicle. I had just bought it.
Had you ever told her that you just bought a new car?
No, I didn't.
Did you know he had just bought a new car?
No,
you told me you'd seen it twice.
Right. He took my son to the barbershop, and we were talking outside the shop. He pointed up the street and said, that's my new car. I was afraid to tell you.
So you knew he had a new car?
Well, he told me then, yeah.
Okay. Had you been paying Mr. Vickers regular child support for your son?
Pardon me?
Let me see if I can find words that will better, translate to you. Have you been paying regular child support for your son?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
How much?
About $643 a month.
Since when?
February of 2001.
Okay.
Since May. I filed for child support in February of 2001, and the first time he received money out of his check was in May.
Were you in court when they made the child support order?
No, Your Honor.
You were not?
No, ma'am.
Well, you chose not to appear.
Yes, I did choose not to.
Oh. So, Mr. Vickers, if you chose not to appear when you were summoned to court, then they made the order without you.
Yes.
And then you didn't pay it for a while.
No, I paid it.
No. You didn't pay it for a while because if you chose not to appear in court, then they made the order, they had to transmit it to you.
Yes.
Now it's being taken out of your salary?
Yes.
All right, and it just started to be taken out of your salary effective when?
Probably April of 2001.
She says
It was
May.
at the end of May. It was at the end of May.
So that she started to get the money in May.
Right.
Okay. Now, you said you took him back to court for more child support?
No, I did not. What happened was he said that it was illegal that they were taking that amount of money out of his pay, and I guess he filed for misrepresentation of fact. So in September, we had another court appearance. We had a court appearance, and that's where this young lady may have seen me or my vehicle, but I know that she was with him.
Just a second. Did they modify the order?
No, they didn't.
They left it at 6:43?
Yes.
Did he appear at that court?
Yes, he appeared at that time.
Sure. Didn't appear the first time. Did you think it would just go away if you didn't appear?
I thought so, yes.
You thought wrong. Okay. How much do you pay for the car every month?
$398 a month.
So you pay $400 a month for your new car, plus insurance and stuff?
Yes.
So you pay almost as much for your car as you pay for your child?
No, my monthly car insurance is about $120 a month.
So that's $520. You pay $643 for your son. $643 also includes some arrears, right?
There was $1,800 in arrears.
Right. So it's not $643. It's really less than $643. They just tacked on an amount for arrears.
Yes. Right.
So I'm right.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
pay as much for your car as you do for your child.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And he's very bitter about it.
Well, he may be very bitter about it. That doesn't give you the right to break his window.
I didn't break his window.
Yes, you did.
I
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,941. That's all.
Parties are excused. You can leave. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Mr. Abakali, you were a tenant in a house that was owned by the plaintiff's mother.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And when did you enter into this lease with the plaintiff's mother?
The lease was entered into on April 16th.
Commencing when?
For May 15th.
And was it a year lease?
It was.
So it terminated on June 15th.
No, it actually would have terminated on May 15th, 2001.
Now, when did this incident occur?
On July 8th, in 2001.
And according to your complaint, you went over to your mother's home with some other relatives.
Yes, my mother and my sister.
In order to secure the property.
Yes, ma'am.
That should have been vacated.
Yes.
And at that time, the defendant assaulted you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Was the lease extended, Mr. Abakali?
It was, Your Honor.
Until when?
Well, we had paid up until June 30th, but there was a dispute about a deposit that had been paid on the property for cleaning.
Just a second. You had extended it to June 30th as a month-to-month tenant?
Correct.
Okay. And you paid your rent?
I did.
On the 1st of July, you had not paid rent.
That's correct.
So you had no right to be there.
Well, I had sent a notice to the landlord that I was going to hold over the tenancy because of the dispute over the deposit that was originally paid.
Just a minute. You should have been out of the premises on July 8th because you had not paid rent. Now, let's move back. Now, I want you to tell me what happened when you got to the property on July 8th.
Well, when we got to the property on July 8th, we knocked on the door and there was no one there. We went inside and we were just horrified at the condition of the home when we walked in the door. I do have pictures of the home if you'd like to see them. And as we walked in and looked around the house, we realized that we needed to secure the property before any more damage had been done. The first picture is a picture of the home before, and the pictures following are there after. Mr. Backley stating in his letter here that on the date of July 1st, he should be out of there and the house would be in move-in ready condition. And that house was not in move-in ready condition.
So what happened next?
So after seeing what had happened, we decided to go to Walmart and get locks to change the locks and secure the gates so that he could not come in with the rest of his family and do any more damage. So we went to Walmart, we came back. When we came back, Mr. Backley was in the home. My sister and my mother entered the house. I was outside. And I heard a commotion. I heard her yell, "Don't push me." And then I went in the house, and I guess he had apparently pushed her. So then he came back out. We told him to leave, and he said he was going to call the police. I said, "I'll call the police. You just leave." He left the premises. I went across the street and had the neighbor call 911, stating that he had pushed my sister and I needed an officer there. So I waited outside while my mother was inside changing the locks. He comes back about 10 or 15 minutes later and parks out front of the house. He gets out and decides he's going to come in. I told him not to come in. He would be trespassing on the property. He tries to push by me. I push him back. He pushes by me, runs to the front door, and kicks the front door in. Comes back out. His wife comes with his daughter and son, I guess, in another vehicle. And they pull up. She's screaming profanities at us, telling us that we can't keep her car in the yard and stuff. And I told her, we're not trying to keep her vehicle. You know, I said, I will open the gate. You're more than welcome to take it out. Anyway, as this commotion is going on outside, him, his wife, and his daughter and them are all jumping over the fence onto the property after he'd already been told by the dispatcher to wait outside because we had called 911 again.
Outside of the gate?
Outside of the gate. Anyway, his wife came over the fence. My sister and his wife got into an altercation. Then the daughter came in and got involved with that with my sister. He jumped over the fence and fell down. And at that point, he said I was kicking him, which I was nowhere near him. After that point, I ran over and I tried to break it up. I told them to stop. The neighbor was over there holding my sister, telling her to let go, and the wife to stop. They stopped. That got settled, and then they started moving the rest of their stuff out, which was fine because we weren't there to stop. We were just there to make sure that if an officer was present, that it would have been much better for them to have waited. Anyway, he came back out of the house. They had gone and gotten a few things. He came back out. He pushed by her, and as he walked by me, I'm standing in the driveway saying, "We just calm down here." He walks by me and just punches me right in the eye, and I just went back, and it was like, I didn't know if I had an eye there. All I could see was white. I do have pictures of the incident. I said to him, I said, "What the hell did you punch me for? I didn't do anything to you." And he just looked at me like this, and then he kept walking. But these are the pictures of what had happened that night. Anyway, after that, they continued to get their stuff out. It took 5 911 calls to finally get an officer to get there.
Okay, that's the assault that you're complaining of.
Yes.
All right. I'll hear you, sir.
Well, essentially, as she stated at the beginning, it's true. I was inside the house. I heard somebody yell, "Hello," and the next thing that I knew, the plaintiff's sister and her mother walked into the bedroom where I was boxing stuff up and cleaning up, and they were yelling profanities at me. I was pushed by her sister, who then told me not to push her. I started moving out of the residence at that time because I knew there was a problem, and I was telling them, this is something that really needs to be handled in court. You need to file an unlawful detainer. You know, I've sent you letters about this. I have the letters that I sent over the whole course of the tenancy about the problems that we were having on the property.
What kind of problems were you having on the property, sir?
Well, the first day that we moved in, we discovered that there was all kinds of property from the plaintiff's mother that was left on the premises. The house had not been prepared for us to move in, and the very first day that we moved in, the plumbing in the house stopped up. We had to have a plumber come out, and we were advised that, you know, that was from rust in the lines, that it would take about 10 to 20 years for that amount of rust to accumulate to stop.
Why didn't you move out?
Well, I had paid her a $1,000 deposit in order to, you know, clean the property up.
Just a minute. You paid her a $1,000 deposit to clean the property up, or a $1,000 security?
No. On April 16th, she told me that she needed $1,000 in order to clean the property up. When we looked at it, there was all kinds of stuff in the backyard, there was stuff in the front yard, there was stuff in the area by the pool where the pump is. And she said that because, you know, she's older, she was having problems getting everything cleaned up. I understood that. She said that she needed the deposit then, and she would use that to clean the property up.
You mean the security deposit?
Yes.
So it was security deposit?
Yes.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Terry Zakari says her mother's tenant, Michael Abackerley, blindsided her with a punch to the eye. Michael says he intervened because Terry's sister attacked his wife.
Now, what I find interesting is this could have been resolved very easily without all of these letters, because what you wanted back, I assume, was your $1,000 security deposit.
Not in the beginning.
What did you want?
In the beginning, I just wanted the property to be cleaned up.
Well, sir, if you're not happy with property, if property is terrible property, you say, I'm moving out of this place, it's uninhabitable, and I'm leaving. You don't live there for more than the lease and then complain about it.
No, I realize that. I was trying to work with Mrs. Jenny, the plaintiff's mother, in order to clean the property up, and I spent a lot of time and money.
No, why would you want to do that if you're only going to be there for a year?
Because it was a place that we could live. We looked for a long time to find a house that would be adequate for us until we purchased another house. We were actually building a house at that point.
All right. So you wanted to keep the house nice and clean because you were going to be living there for a year.
Right.
So I still don't understand why you would not be out by the 30th of the month.
Because of the dispute over various things that had been done during the course of the tenancy.
Why didn't you vacate the property by June 30th, and then institute a lawsuit and say, I did not have full use and enjoyment of the premises, instead of talking about holdover proceedings, staying on after your lease. I mean, you had been out of the property.
Yes.
Clearly. When did you move into your new house?
On July 2nd, 2001.
All right, so that's still 2 days over.
Right.
So.
We were actually in the process of moving on the date of July 8th. There were still a few items that were on the property. We had
Well,
a car.
they shouldn't have been there.
Right.
You were out, and you didn't pay your rent. So you should have been out. This is pretty serious injury. Were you arrested as a result of this assault?
I was not.
How come?
Because I was also assaulted.
Not by her.
No, not by
No,
Not by her.
Well, I was assaulted at the point where I believe that her eye became injured. I think I may have struck her in the eye at the point that I jumped over the fence and fell down. What happened was I had called dispatch at the time that I left the property, and they told me to wait out in front of the property until a law enforcement officer arrived. While I was waiting in front of the property, my wife, my daughter, and my daughter's boyfriend arrived at the property, and my wife immediately demanded that they remove the chain off the fence so she could get her car.
So why didn't you say to your wife, the police will be here any minute, just wait, so that there's no confrontation, just wait, and then you get your car?
I was sitting inside my car at that time. When my wife said that, I saw the plaintiff's sister come out of the residence and move towards the car. I thought, based on what had happened prior to that she was going to damage the car. So I jumped over the fence and I fell down. I had my cell phone in my hand because I was on the line to 911. At that point, the plaintiff started telling me that I was under arrest and just to stay on the ground. When I looked over towards my wife, she was now inside the yard, and she was on the ground with the plaintiff's sister, and they were fighting. I saw a man standing over them.
You shouldn't have gone on to that property.
I wanted my car.
Then you wait until the police arrived.
We had waited. I'm sorry. We had waited. It had already been 2 hours, and I couldn't figure out why my husband hadn't come home. My daughter had just come up to visit us and had passed by the house and said that they were waiting for the cops to come.
So?
And then I asked her to drive me over there.
So?
And I asked them when I got there if I could get my car. And they said no.
Right,
Yes,
you're
I
supposed
did
to wait for the police to come. Because right now, if you had waited for the police to arrive, which I assume they ultimately did.
Yeah, ultimately.
None of this would have happened. If you had waited with your husband outside the fence, this wouldn't have happened. But you got hot. Sit down. This is not acceptable, sir. I'm just absolutely amazed that you weren't arrested. That's a pretty serious injury.
We got nothing but a runaround by the police department and everyone else because this man is supposed to be respected.
Your Honor, if I may, I was assaulted also. I was hit over the head with an object that split my head open. I don't believe that it was the plaintiff. However, it was somebody that was standing behind me, and I required 5 staples as a result of that. I don't have pictures of the injuries, unfortunately, but I do have the medical records that show that, in fact, I was also assaulted.
I believe that you were. You say in your answer that you were assaulted. The problem is you don't know who assaulted you.
Correct.
And that still doesn't explain this.
Your Honor, at the time that I went over the fence, I was the first one to go over the fence.
That's not when it happened, Your Honor.
My wife, again, was standing at the fence. I jumped over the fence. I fell to the ground. When I looked over, I saw that my wife was fighting.
Okay.
And there was a man standing over her and a woman on top of her. The plaintiff was pushing me down to the ground and telling me that I was under arrest to stay down. I pushed away at her so that I could get to my wife.
Yes, and just a minute, and
I believe that may be when that happened.
This wasn't a push.
I never struck her in the way
This isn't a push.
I did not punch her in the way that she's describing.
Oh, no, it just happened by itself?
No, just a second. This, sir, is not a push. This is, even when it's cleaned up, this is a slug right in the eye.
Your Honor, I would never slug a woman. I would never punch a woman. I would never hit a woman like that.
You did?
Did you see the pictures?
He hasn't seen the pictures.
I saw the injury at the time.
He did this.
She stepped up to me and said that I had cut her eye, and I saw that. I didn't realize that I had done that.
He was probably high at the time, Your Honor.
I don't know if he was high at the time. He was angry. But this whole problem started because of his wife. There's no question that it all started because of her.
Your Honor, I have to say that's unfair to my wife. She was not the one that was screaming profanities at the time.
Yes, just a minute. Screaming, screaming, screaming does not do this. Let me tell you, sir, if you, who was standing outside, because you were certainly abiding by what you had been told, wait outside for me, right? When you spoke to the police, You were doing that. If the police had arrived, you were outside, they were outside, what would have happened was you would have said to the police, I still have property inside the house. We may resolve everything else. I want to go get the rest of my stuff. Police officer would have instructed them to unlock the gate. You would have gotten your property. Your wife would have gotten her car, and you would have left. And then if you wish to pursue a matter civilly with regard to these people, because you felt that they had not fulfilled their part of their agreement, you could have pursued the matter civilly. That's what would have happened had your wife not insisted that she enter the property before the police arrived to get her car. That's why it's your wife's fault, because she was the precipitating factor. You should not have been there on July 8th. Your tenancy was up. You had not paid rent. There was not an order permitting you to be there. You had, in fact, moved out into your new house, albeit you didn't move out on the 30th of the month. You still stayed over 2 days because your house probably wasn't ready or you didn't have a closing date for those 2 days. For all intents and purposes, you were out of the house. The house, I've seen worse, but was not left in certainly pristine condition. That's irrelevant. What's relevant is, but for her conduct, this whole problem wouldn't have happened. And quite frankly, I am absolutely baffled why the police did not pursue this matter. Even though you may have been assaulted, they may have had on their hands a case of assault where they didn't know who the perpetrator was, but they certainly knew who the perpetrator was of this. And if you're a nice young man, and I assume that you are, I assume that you wouldn't have spent any time in jail, but I'm quite certain that the police should have pursued this matter. I am absolutely amazed that they did not. I was a prosecutor for many years.
Your Honor, again, if I may, the case was submitted to the Attorney General for review. They reviewed the case and they determined that, in fact, I was justified in what I did. There were a variety of other charges that were also lodged against the other parties in this case.
Why was it sent to the Attorney General's office?
Because
it was sent to the Attorney General's office because of his position as being a Deputy District Attorney in Barstow. We couldn't have it heard in that court because he's being under investigation for criminal charges.
So that's why it went to the Attorney General's office?
There was a conflict of interest in my office.
Okay. In any event, you're lucky. Still have a scar on your eye?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Would you step up here? I'd like to take a look at it.
It's on the left eye here.
Oh, it does look so bad.
Not now, it doesn't. Makeup does wonders.
Don't we know that?
Yeah.
How's your vision?
It's a little blurry, and I've been having headaches and nightmares from it. So
Headaches, nightmares, okay. Headaches, we all have headaches. Nightmares,
I'm also
doesn't look so bad.
seeking counseling. I'm going to therapy. Would you like me to step back?
Please.
Thank you.
Part of the thing that you're suing for is for mental distress, and I see a psychiatric evaluation that was done on August the 9th. You've been in therapy before, is that right?
No, ma'am. I started in August.
You never was taking any medication before August?
Yes, I was. I was seeing a regular family doctor for
And what
anxiety.
kind of medication were you taking?
I believe it was called Celexa or something like that. It was to keep me to be mellow and not
Right,
having the-
because you have sort of histrionic personality.
Yeah, I'm very hyper.
You're hyper. And how long had you been taking that medication?
For about 3 weeks.
Prior to this?
Yes.
Before that?
Before that, I seemed to be just doing okay.
So it was a recent onset, the need for psychiatric medication. You haven't suffered with these problems your whole life?
No. Well, I don't think so. I mean, I
don't
could
think
have,
so?
but...
Sometimes bad things happen to nice people, sir. I don't believe you're probably a bad person. I think that this whole situation got out of hand. It should not have gotten out of hand, especially somebody who's charged in a position of some responsibility and authority. You owe to the community a higher standard than civilians. I always felt that way when I was a prosecutor.
And I agree with you.
Okay, so this whole situation got out of hand. She was injured. She was injured by your hand. She had substantial medical bills. She will continue to have some medical bills. She's suing you for $5,000. That's the judgment of the court. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Mrs. McKean. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, ma'am. Have a seat, please.
Ms. Rosales, according to your complaint, the defendant, who was your former boyfriend, and you went on a trip this past summer to Mexico.
Correct.
About a month afterwards, you broke up with, or he broke up with you. It was a mutual thing. I don't know. You broke up. And you claim that he still owes you for some expenses from the trip.
Correct.
He says he does not. How long were you away?
We were away for a month.
How could you get away for a month? You have a good job?
No, I don't have a job. I just saved up money 2 years in advance, and I sold my stock to go on this trip.
Had you been working before you went on the trip?
Yes. My last job ended in November, but I'm a full-time student, so.
Were you working?
Yes, Your Honor.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm in retail management.
And you could take a month off from your job?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, what was the arrangement?
We were going to go away for 1 month, July 10th to August 8th, and I was going to bring my own money. He was going to bring his. I brought $1,000 in traveler's checks and $1,000 in cash. About a week prior to us leaving, he told me he wasn't going to have enough money, and he wanted to know if he could borrow my credit card. And I asked him how he was going to pay for it. He told me that he was going to sell his stock when he returned. I knew that his portfolio had more than max on my credit card, so I knew that he was good for that amount of money. I agreed. We went on the trip, and we pretty much paid for everything 50-50. For like hotels, I would pay for my half in cash. He would pay for his half on the credit card. Everything else was 50-50. We made a conscious effort to do it that way so we wouldn't take each other's money. We came back August 8th. A little bit afterwards, I asked him how his stock was doing. It dropped dramatically, and he told me that because his stock dropped, he didn't have enough money and he wasn't going to pay me.
No. Sarah had been begging me for the last year before we went on the trip. Please, babe, can we go on a trip? I just want to go somewhere this summer.
Don't get dramatic with me. Don't get dramatic.
Anyway, she knew that if I went on a trip for a month, I'd lose a month in pay from work. So before we went on the trip, she knew I couldn't afford.
Don't tell me what she knew. I want you to tell me what you talked about.
I was going to bring some of my own money and pay for whatever I could. And she'd take care of the rest because she knew I couldn't do it otherwise.
No, just a second. There's a difference between what you believe she knew and what you discussed. Do you understand? So I want to know what discussion you say took place before you went with regard to using her credit card.
Well, it was her credit card, and I wasn't going to be paying for it.
It's a lie.
I was going to pay for whatever I could afford to pay for.
No.
Okay.
With the money I brought.
Don't speak. When did your money run out?
I'd say about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks into the trip.
That sounds unlikely, sir. That means that there were only a few days left that you relied on the credit card. Is that what you're saying?
Well, she was using the credit card.
Let us say you went to a hotel. You stayed in a hotel for 28 days, various hotels. How were the hotels paid for, Mr. McKeon?
I'd pay for what I could in cash, and she'd charge it on her credit card or pay for it in cash with her money.
So what you're telling me is the hotel bills were, for the most part, paid in cash?
No.
Shh. So how were they paid?
Well, some of it was paid for in cash.
Yes.
I don't really remember.
What about your meals, sir?
I paid for some of the meals, and she paid for some of them.
Were any of the meals paid for with a credit card?
Yeah.
How did you contribute to those meals that were paid on the credit card?
Well, she would pay for those because I'd pay for a meal one day or for lunch, and she'd pay for a meal for dinner.
So what you're saying, Mr. McKeon, is that for the vast majority of this trip, you paid your own way?
Yeah, definitely.
That's not what you say in your answer, Mr. McKeon, that you signed and that you swore to. You said, I had very limited money. She really wanted to go and offered to pay for all the accommodations and any additional expenses incurred on the trip. All I could afford to pay for was my plane ticket and some spending money. Does that refresh your recollection?
Yeah, but
Well, that's what you swore to, sir. And I assume that when you wrote this answer, you reflected on it, and in this answer you said you paid for your plane ticket and brought some spending money, but that she had agreed to pay for all of your accommodations and any other additional expenses on the trip. Now, is that what you're telling me?
Yes, that's true, Your Honor.
So you did not pay with your money for 3.5 weeks when you were on the trip. And then, as you just told me a moment ago, just a few days we used on her credit card. That wasn't true.
No, I helped out when
now
I
let me
could.
see. Now let me see your bills.
There's a breakdown, and also I have, this is one of the payments that was made. He made 2 payments to me He made one payment to me of $40 so I could repay my mother back.
50.
Your Honor, that was
no,
just
and
to help
another
her
payment
out.
of
I was just trying to help her
and
out.
another payment of $50 that I paid to the credit card.
Your Honor, she told me that after the trip, she'd get a part-time job and make payments on the credit card,
How
and it wouldn't
can
be
I
a
when
problem.
No, don't speak to him. I want to hear him. GB, I want to hear him. Go ahead, let me hear.
She told me that after the trip, she'd get a part-time job to cover the expenses, to pay the credit card debt off, and it wouldn't be a problem. And then when we got back, she started asking me for money. Please help me with this, you know, I can't afford to pay this. And I said, well, you were going to get a job.
How much do you earn at your job?
Approximately $800 a week.
You support anyone other than yourself?
No.
You have an apartment?
Yeah.
You pay rent?
Yeah, I have roommates, though.
Good. What's your share of the rent?
About $600.
I never heard anybody describe their rent as about $600.
You either know it or you don't.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Sarah Rosales says ex-boyfriend Sean McKean promised to pay his share of a month-long vacation in Mexico.
Go ahead.
My witness here, my roommate, she heard him say that he was going to pay for it.
He's going to pay for it. Go away on a vacation for a month. You don't go away with any money.
I did bring money.
Did you bring just a second, did you bring a credit card?
No.
Why not?
I don't have a credit card.
Why not?
I don't like credit cards.
What do you like?
I've run up debt before.
What?
I've just had bad experiences with credit cards. I don't like them.
You have stocks?
Yeah.
Stocks are good.
Not lately.
I understand that. So you don't like to sell the stocks when they're down, except when you owe money.
I don't owe money.
Yeah,
Oh,
you do.
Whatever.
Yeah, you do. But you have a problem, Ms. Rosales, and I'm going to tell you what your problem is. It's clear to me the following. You went away with $2,000. You say his portion of these bills, which total together are $3,300.
Correct.
That would mean that if you double that, it would be $6,600.
Yes, he also purchased things on my credit card just for himself. He bought himself a surfboard. When we went to Chichen Itza to climb the pyramids, he bought like $200 in souvenirs. I have a list of things that I know for sure that he bought for himself. He bought swim trunks. He bought just different things for himself that I didn't buy.
Did you buy anything on these credit cards, sir, just for your own personal use?
I bought a pair of swimming trunks, yeah.
What about a surfboard?
Yeah, I bought a surfboard because it would have been cheaper to buy a surfboard than rent one at the place we were at.
How much was it?
It was like $200.
No, it was $388.59. This is just of what I know that he bought for sure. There's other souvenirs that he has his whole room's full of souvenirs. I mean, he bought all of Mexico.
Well, on the credit card?
Yes, like he bought the surfboard at the hotel. So it
I
looks
see.
like a hotel stay, like that we stayed there, but he bought it there. Swim trunks, souvenirs is also.
Sounds to me if you don't have enough money, sir, that you watch surfboarding on TV instead of paying $388 for a surfboard.
That's no fun, though, Your Honor.
I didn't have enough money to buy myself
Miss
souvenirs.
Rosales.
So, sorry.
Yes, you
Ms.
did.
Rosales,
You
you
bought
do not-
$2,000.
Shh. Hey, he owes you money.
Yeah.
However, you don't escape without a tongue lashing. If you're being stupid, don't expect me to be sympathetic. You don't give a boyfriend a credit card. Ever. No way. Nothing. You don't give anybody a credit card, especially somebody that you are not related to by blood or marriage or committed to by virtue of an engagement. Even then, it's dumb and stupid. So you don't get any awards for brains.
I understand that, but I have loaned him money before and he's paid me back, so I had no reason not to trust him.
But I don't know how much he owes you.
It's $3,305.
I don't know her anything.
And 2 cents.
Oh, yes, you do. Oh, yes, you do. I guarantee you, as good as you think you were on this trip, you weren't. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,300. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She wanted the money because she bit off more than she could chew.
I'm just ecstatic that she didn't believe him.
Pretty girls get away with everything. Justice was not served.
He's so full of it. He's just unbelievable.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Miller versus Hardesty. Step forward, please.
19-year-old entertainment agent Jessica Miller and her husband, Howard Miller, are suing Jessica's cousin, 18-year-old carpet installer Stephen Hardesty, for breaking a lease. Stephen says Howard has a problem controlling his anger.
Mr. and Mrs. Miller, the defendant is your cousin. Whose cousin is he?
Mine.
According to your complaint, he signed a lease with you to live in some sort of property that you had for a year. He lived there for a couple of months. You claim he owes you for 10 months' rent because he left voluntarily.
Right.
And the defendant says that he was forced to move out by your husband, and therefore he owes you nothing. What kind of property did he rent from you?
My husband and I have a townhouse that we rent. When we signed the lease, he also signed the lease with us. We don't own it. We rent it from somebody else.
Your husband and you signed the lease when?
June 1st of 2001.
When did the defendant sign the lease?
Same date.
So what happened?
We had a few rules in the house. Before everybody moved in, we agreed on a few rules, being no drugs at all. It had to be quiet at night. You had to clean up after yourself. Just basic house rules. For the 6 weeks he lived with us, we had fights every other day about house rules not being cleaned up and stuff like that. One afternoon, his girlfriend at the time had said something to my husband about me, and when I got home that night, he said, "Don't talk to him. We're gonna have a house meeting when we get home."
Was his girlfriend living there?
She was, but she wasn't supposed to be. The deal with that was they have a child together. She was supposed to stay weekends so he can see the baby, and she could come over so he could see the baby.
Whose rule was that?
It was just an agreement we had until they got married, because she couldn't go on our lease until they were married.
Why not?
Because she's underage. She's only 16.
Shh. Okay, go ahead.
So she had an altercation with her parents to where she had to stay at the house. That was fine because the baby was there and there wasn't a whole lot of problems. But things just started getting out of hand. She wasn't working and neither was I. So we were supposed to take care of the house. And it seemed like it was me always scrubbing the bathrooms and cleaning the kitchens and doing everything. There was a lot of fighting going on. And one night in particular, they had some people over and they had a food fight. There was chocolate cake smeared into my living room carpet. I had an ornament that was precious to me broken. So I told him about it because I was very upset. And he was going to talk to them when they came in. And things got out of hand with them, and he said, "Look, Sarah's got to go. She's not on the lease. She's not even old enough to live here. She's got to leave." So that started a huge fight. And one thing led to another, and Steve said, "Well, she has to go. I'm going too." So he left, and he came back about an hour later with a cop to get a few things out of the house, and we hadn't seen him since.
What have you done to try to rent that other?
We can't rent it because his stuff is still there.
What's there?
His bed, their clothes, other personal things of his, paperwork they left there, boxes of other
What's
things.
all your stuff doing there?
I wasn't able to get a hold of them to go get
Well,
it.
the house hasn't moved. You take a police officer and you go over there with a truck and you get your stuff.
That is not why I had the police over there.
I don't care why you had the police over there. Okay. I'm going to assume as follows, that they told your girlfriend to leave, and you said, if she and the baby go, I'm going too, and I consider that an eviction of you. Do you understand?
Ma'am, at that time, the baby wasn't living there. Her mother had taken the baby.
Yes, because of all the yelling and screaming that her husband did. Whenever my daughter would see him, she
You understood
would
that
cry.
if you said Sarah's going, that he was going to go too.
No, because they had fought and she had left 3 or 4 times.
When did you physically leave the premises, sir?
July 19th.
Did you pay July's rent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he pay July's
Yes.
rent? What was your share of the rent?
$375.
So August, September, and October, so far you didn't pay,
No, ma'am.
right? It's not a very difficult case. If you tell the girlfriend to leave, he's going to leave. You told the girlfriend to leave?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Mr. Hardesty, he says that he just told your girlfriend to leave. Did he tell you to leave too?
Not exactly, but once I told him that if she was leaving, I was leaving too, he said, fine, get your stuff and get out. And then he calls my wife a derogatory name.
When did you get married?
July 20th.
So
And-
did this all happen the day before the wedding?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And then after he made the derogatory comment, I told him to shut up, that I was not talking to him. And then I heard my wife get out of the car and say something, so I looked over, and then when I went to look back, he punched me in the side of the face.
Ma'am,
and then
that's
I
not
left.
how that happened
No,
at
ma'am.
all. What had happened was our stairwell comes into our living room. He and I were standing on the stairwell, and he was standing in front of it.
No.
Sarah had said many, many comments that night about me being a fat, lazy because I did not work. I stayed home to take care of our home. There were a lot of derogatory comments that every single person here said something. What had happened when he said she has got to go? Stephen said, well, she is not leaving without me. So
He said, fine, I'm leaving. He went downstairs, and as he said, I followed him down. I said, look, this is not the way I want things to end. And we pretty much agreed that it had to end that way. There was no other way. So he walked out to his car to see what she was doing. When he came back up, he came at my husband. And my husband just held his arms out to push him. So the step under our house, he just didn't make it up the step. And then when he got back up, he came at my husband, and my husband swung at him.
His arms were out like that, so I thought he was trying to tackle me.
No, ma'am.
So I swung at him.
Mr. and Mrs. Miller, since you have been required to pay the full rent for the months that he has things there which do not enable you to rent that part of your house to somebody else, you have to be compensated for that. You have to do, however, whatever you can to find someone else. But if you're going to rent the house to somebody else, you have to start looking. You can't start looking until he gets his stuff out. So this is what you're going to do. You are going to get all of his stuff. 5 days from today, all of your stuff is going to be out in the street. Do you understand?
Yes.
They are going to call Salvation Army or whatever else and have Salvation Army come the next day. So you have 1 day to get your stuff. Other than that, it's gone. Clothes, pictures, valuables, bed, dresser, anything else that's there. You got 1 day to get it.
Why should I only have 1 day when they
Because that's
told me
what
to
I'm
get
giving
out?
you. 1 day, unless you pay rent, which you haven't done. Do we understand each other? I am going to reduce
no.
this to an order so that you can read it over and over again and understand it.
But what if all of my stuff is not out?
Sir, they don't want your stuff, and it's been 4 months already, and you haven't gone back for it, so I assume you're not missing it. Okay, so then you have a month to find somebody else, because I am awarding you 4 months' rent, or $1,500. Sir, you got a very narrow window to get your stuff out. Do you understand?
Yes.
Perfect. That's all.
Parties are excused. Matter of Moore versus Optional. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Ms. Moore, it is your claim that the defendant assaulted you by biting you.
Correct.
After some sort of an altercation at a bar.
Yes.
So first tell me when this occurred.
This incident occurred on June 15th of 2000, between 2:15 in the morning.
Okay, where had you been earlier that evening?
I was at a local tavern very close to my house. I had just gone in and was drinking a few beers when...
What time had you arrived there?
Between 10 and 10:30, I would say, that night.
Okay, go ahead.
The defendants came in and I...
The defendant came in. Was she with other people? You said they came in.
It was Tina Hall and Sarah Upsall.
Had you known them from before that evening?
I had not known Sarah. I had known Tina because I've had some previous problems with her in the past.
What time did they come in?
About 2 o'clock. I know that it was definitely after 2 o'clock because the bartender wouldn't serve them because she had already called last call. So they were not allowed any beverages. And that's in essence what the start fighted over was, because Tina just walked up to my spot at the bar while I was shooting pool and stole my beer and started drinking my beer. And
your glass, shh, your glass of beer?
It was a mini pitcher.
So you saw Tina, that's this young lady.
I saw both of them walk up. Tina sat in the chair that I actually was sitting in, and I said, hey, you're drinking my beer. And
you said to Tina?
I said to Tina, and she turned around and looked at me, and she said, no, I'm not, shut up. And one of the persons that was giving me a ride home had said, hey, look, you know what, this girl's a troublemaker, let's just get out of here. I set my pull stick down, and we exited the bar.
Did you have a car that evening?
I did.
And were you driving?
No.
Who was driving?
I was getting a ride home from an older gentleman who was a friend of my mother's, and also another gentleman around the same age as me.
So why didn't you drive home?
Because I felt like I was too drunk, I shouldn't be driving.
Okay, so you got a ride home. That's smart.
Yes.
And what happened?
We exited the front door and began walking towards the parking lot. The defendants came out and were yelling and screaming that they wanted to beat me up, we're going to kick your butt, you told on us. What had happened, I found out the next day from the bar owner, was that they were caught drinking the beer and were kicked out and asked to leave because they were not served. So just at the time as they were making their way out of the front exit, the other man that was with us was making his way out of the rear exit, and they kind of met They were yelling and screaming at him, "Where is she? We want to beat her up. We're going to take care of
You
this right
heard
now."
all? You heard?
I heard them. I
Okay.
was just getting into the car at that point. He walked in and got into the vehicle we were riding in and shut the door, and he rolled the window down in an effort, I guess, to kind of get the last word in or whatever.
To say something stupid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Sarah just hit him dead in the face. And
That is.
Shh. No way. Wait a second. Go ahead.
From there, we couldn't believe it, and I was telling the driver, just go, take off, and they were either punching or kicking on the windows of the car, trying to break the windows.
Whatever.
We exited through an alley that was just off of the parking lot, and by the time that we turned onto the street, they were in their vehicle already following us.
Did you go home? You being dropped off?
I did not go home because I didn't want these girls to know where I lived, and I didn't want to have a fight with them. And they chased us around town for a good 15 to 20 minutes.
But they came a time when you did go home?
Yes.
And what happened when you got home? Because that's where this incident took place.
Well, the whole time that they were chasing us, they were yelling and screaming things out of the windows and stuff. And when we pulled up in front of my house, they, of course, came to a dead stop behind us. And the male on the passenger side, I was sitting in the middle of the front seat, he told me, just wait in the car, and I'll take care of these girls. We'll get rid of them. Both of the girls just kind of flew out of their vehicle and immediately started attacking him, beating on him, on his head and his face, and he did this kind of like football maneuver, I would call it, and he knocked them both down, and they got up, continued to beat on him. At one point, he actually...
I don't want to hear from you yet.
She is lying.
Did you hear what I said? I
Yes,
don't want
I
to
do.
hear from you yet.
But she is just...
I don't want to hear from you yet.
I know.
I don't like to raise my voice. You will have an opportunity to answer all of my questions.
Okay.
At one point, he actually had taken Tina by the shoulders and walked her to the vehicle, sat her in the seat, shut the door, and was about to do the same to Sarah. Tina got back out. They continued to beat on him. And that's when I made the stupid decision to get out of the car because I thought I was going to try to help stop it. And as soon as I got out of the car and I shut the door, Sarah was already approaching me. And I did not hesitate, and I began to beat her up. I had lost my temper by that point.
And what happened?
We had a knockdown, drag-out, rolling on the ground, beating each other fight. And what it came down to was I was getting the better of her, and she bit my arm to get away from me. At that point, the fight broke up, and I started to walk up to get on my front porch to go in my house. Just as soon as I turned my back to get on my porch, he flew down the stairs, told me to look out. They were both closing in on me, trying to continue the fight. And Sarah and I did continue again for probably another 5 minutes fighting.
Okay, so am I correct, Miss Moore, that, I want you to answer my questions honestly, that when you got out of the car and the defendant came and, as you said, rushed you, you struck her first?
Yes, I did.
And that started the brawl?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Miss Opsel, you're at the bar.
Yes.
There's some words passed between you.
First of all, I did not even talk to Cindy. I was talking with the bartender.
Okay.
I did not drink her beer.
Okay. There was some words passed. Now, what I want to know is, you left at approximately the same time as the plaintiff left.
Yes.
Who was driving?
I was.
You were sitting in the passenger seat?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you live in relation to the plaintiff?
I live in Wisconsin. It's over the bridge from her.
So nowhere near the plaintiff?
No.
What were you doing at her house?
I thought we were invited to an after-hours party.
Well, explain that to me. Shh. Explain that to me.
We were outside the tavern, and I thought Tina got invited because she knew them to this after party.
Well, let's get a hold of Tina. Tina,
Yes.
come up and stand up here. Who invited you to a party?
I don't know that I was even invited. We were just
I thought she was.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Cindy Moore says after an argument in a bar, Sarah Opsel followed her home. Cindy claims a fight ensued and Sarah bit her on the arm.
You didn't know about any party?
No, ma'am.
So now, what made you think you were invited to a party?
Because Tina knew these two, the plaintiff.
What I'm asking you, madam, is what made you think, if Tina didn't know anything about a party, what made you think that you were going to a party?
Because we got in the vehicle and we were following them.
Well, my question is, what made you follow them?
Because I thought we were invited to the party.
What telepathic message had you received that you were invited to a party?
Because she said follow them.
Tina said?
Yeah.
Even she's laughing at you.
She's not laughing.
Even she's laughing at you.
No, she's not.
Tina said follow them. And that's all she said to you. Follow them. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes. You are just... You're trying to put words in my mouth.
No, I'm not. I want to know what you were doing. You live in a different state from the plaintiff.
Yes.
In a different state. There were clearly words exchanged, not necessarily between you and the plaintiff, but perhaps between Tina and the plaintiff outside the bar. You get into your car. Instead of going home at 2:30 in the morning, you follow the car around town for a while because Tina told you to follow them. And you assumed it was to go to a party.
Yes.
Okay. You had no business being there.
Being where?
At her house.
I wasn't at her house.
Now, yes, you were. You were at her house. Now, once at her house, Tina, you tell me what happened when you pulled up in front of her house.
When we got to her house, we all exited the vehicles.
Who's all?
Sarah, myself, Cindy, and her boyfriend or friend at the time. We were having words. I don't know.
You mean as soon as you got out of the car, there started to be an altercation?
Yes. And
not a party. Not a party.
Apparently
not at the time.
Apparently not.
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
And her friend came up to me and literally did take me by the shoulders, but he didn't put me in the vehicle. He slammed me up against the vehicle. And then she seen that this was happening, so Sarah came over by me and asked him not to do that. You don't do that. And then somewhere along the line, that's when Cindy came over to her and bit her. There was no slapping. There was no punching, no rolling around, none of that.
Who bit whom?
Sarah did bite Cindy, but Cindy was coming at her.
Self-defense.
Self-defense. Not in my book. You wouldn't have been there to have to defend yourself if you hadn't followed them home looking for a fight.
I wasn't looking for a fight.
Oh, yes, you were.
No,
looking for a fight.
I was
not looking for a party, looking for a fight.
Why would
Where
I
did she
look
bite
for
you?
a fight?
I have no idea, madam. I have no idea why you're out 2:30 in the morning looking for a drink, period. And I have no idea why, if you live in one state, you followed her home to her house, which is in another. I'm speaking, which is in
right
another
over
state.
The bridge. It is not another state to state.
I lived in Michigan. She lived in Wisconsin.
Just a minute. That's another state. I'm not really good at geography, but one state is Michigan, one state is Wisconsin. I don't care if it's just over a bridge. It's not your house.
I know
you
it's not
followed
my
her to her house. And you followed her to your house because she said, follow him. You said, oh, I guess she means follow. We're going to have a party with all these people who we didn't get along with at the tavern. All right. Madam, I want you to step up here and I want to see where she bit you.
I don't even know Cindy to look for a fight.
That's a good bite. Did you see a doctor?
I did see a doctor. I have my medical reports here.
Can I see it?
As well as photographs that documented what the injury was like.
Okay.
Did you make a police report about this?
The police were called by a neighbor at that time. I tried very hard to get the report before I came. I wasn't able to do so, and the police treated it very nonchalantly. The police told me that Sarah had came in earlier, had phoned and said that I beat her up, and they just didn't really take the case
I never
very
even talked to
seriously at all.
cop about that.
Yes.
What the police actually had said that night was that they weren't there to witness anything, and there were two sides to the story, as is now. And
No, there's only one side to the story.
Well,
Madam,
at
there's
that
only
point,
one side to the story. If you weren't...
There are
if
always two sides to every story.
No, that's what a court is for.
Exactly.
That's what a court is for. And but for the fact that you and your friend followed her to her house, this incident would not have happened. And you and I both know that you weren't following her to her house to go to a party. You were following her to her house because there was bad blood. When that started, I haven't a clue. But you precipitated this because they were on their way home. You weren't on your way home. You were on your way looking for trouble, and you found it Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She lied. If it weren't for Tina, none of this would have ever happened.
Right. She did not lie.
She did.
Don't she?
You weren't even there.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Anderson versus Liebler, step forward, please.
22-year-old homemaker Shauna Anderson is suing her ex-boyfriend, 21-year-old clerk Caleb Liebler, for an unpaid loan for bail. Caleb says he paid her back.
Miss Anderson, the defendant was a former boyfriend of yours.
Yes.
There came a time when you were angry with him about something, and according to you, you knew that he had stolen something.
Yes.
A stereo, a car stereo. And in order to get back at him, you told the person from whom he had stolen the stereo that he stole the stereo. Is that right?
It wasn't really to get back at him. I knew the person. And
a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
You weren't being a good Samaritan.
No.
He was arrested.
Yes.
And you felt a little bit guilty, so you decided you would help him out and bail him out.
Yes.
The bail money was $500.
Yes.
Then, according to you, he asked you if he could use that bail money to pay his lawyer.
Yes.
You said, okay, but
Yes.
it's a loan.
Yes.
Now, you, Mr. Liebler, acknowledged that it was a loan.
Yes.
Your defense is that you paid her back.
Yes.
Okay? So now we have the facts, and now you have to show me how you paid her back, right?
Yes.
When did you take the $500 and give it to the lawyer? What date?
Sometime in April.
April
of
5th.
2000.
Of 2000?
Of 2000. This case is 14 months old.
When did you pay her back?
I paid her back from that point on until I left for jail at the end of August.
How did you pay her?
I paid her in...
Now look at me. Don't look at
I'm
the
sorry.
sky.
I paid her back in payments. We worked together at Friendly's. We lived together.
From April until August?
Earlier than that.
He did not live. No.
I lived with her
Don't
in that
speak.
residence from February until May.
When did you start paying her back? After you separated?
I started paying her back after I left.
After you left the house?
I went back home, still working with her though, at Friendly's. We ended up getting back together.
Okay.
I did not move back with her. I stayed at home, but we were together.
You saw each other?
Right.
Fine.
And whenever she needed money on the weekends, she'd come up to me saying, "You owe me money. I need money this weekend. I'm broke. Can I get paid? You know, can you give me something?" So I would give her $60, $80 here and there. She does not have a license. She doesn't have a car.
Don't go into extraneous stuff.
I'm
You
not.
would give us $60, $80.
I'm not.
You have to tell me when.
When? On weekends, Fridays, Saturday nights.
May
Like,
2000.
I don't want to hear from you now. It's up to him to convince me that he's paid you back. So I have weekends, $60 or $80.
Yeah, from
correct?
the end of May through June, on weekends, Friday, Saturday nights. She comes up to me at work. "I want to go to a rave. I want to go to the club. I want to go out this weekend. I have no money. Do you have something for me?" Would she even ask me for a receipt, but I'm being at work. I'm a cook. I'm greasy and stuff like that. I'm not going to take a receipt and stuff in my pocket. So I just never asked for a receipt. I would give her money on weekends. She lived a half an hour from her job, so there was certain times where I'd actually give her money for hotel rooms to stay in, so she did not have to drive back up to
true
Saratoga, you know, to go home, because she doesn't have a car. Sometimes we'd work until 2 o'clock in the morning. I paid for hotel rooms just for her to stay in.
You stayed in them too.
Right. Right?
Sometimes,
All the time.
not all the time.
Miss Anderson,
we
stop doing the weave dance and keep your mouth closed until I ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
What else, Mr. Liebler?
What else? I'll have to say that while I was living with her, there was many expenses.
No,
that
I'm not talking about before. Before May, I'm not interested in.
I gave her money, handouts, whenever she needed it.
Handouts is not the return of a loan.
But that's what it was in terms of. That's what she'd bring up.
Just a
She'd bring
second.
up, "You owe me money."
Mr. Liebler, you added in this pot motel rooms that you paid for that you also stayed in.
No, not all the time.
Yeah.
How many times?
I'd say twice. I'd say at least twice. At
least twice, maybe 3 times.
No, twice.
Well, get a receipt. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. Next time, get a receipt.
Simpkins, parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Mr. Bainbridge, you and the defendant had been married and you have 2 children together, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
What your complaint alleges is, pursuant to the judgment of divorce, your former wife got possession of a car.
Yes.
And she was to make all the payments on the car, maintain the insurance on the car, and you were held harmless by the court for any further responsibility for the car because it was going to be her car.
Yes, ma'am.
Subsequently, you ascertained that she filed for bankruptcy and listed the credit company that had made the car loan as a creditor, and that debt was discharged in bankruptcy, her bankruptcy.
Yes, ma'am.
And you are on the hook for the car.
Yes, ma'am.
And you think that's unfair.
Yes, ma'am.
And Ms. Simpkins states that she was forced to file for bankruptcy because of your lack of child support, and that you were noticed in the bankruptcy as someone who had to be noticed because of your on-paper obligation.
Right, at the time I was at NTC.
You were what?
I was in the military away on training.
And therefore, she's not responsible. So I need some information from both of you. When were you married?
We were married March 10th of 96.
March 30th.
30th, okay.
I always should ask the woman that question. March 30th of 1996. When were you separated?
July 25th of 1999.
That you remember?
Exactly. The date and time.
Any particular reason you remember that date and time?
Oh, it's when World War III started.
That's when the locks were changed.
Yeah.
That's when the locks were changed. July 25th, 1999. And when were you divorced?
September of 2000.
And who's going to show me a copy of the judgment of divorce?
I will.
Are you still in the armed forces, sir?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
When were you discharged?
February of this year.
Do you have an order of support for the children, sir? Because this judgment of divorce indicates that you have deferred all issues of custody and support to a juvenile and domestic relations court. Was that ever done?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a copy of that order?
I do not have a copy of my child
With me. He's ordered to pay $805 a month if he exercises 90-plus days of visitation a year with the children. And if he does not, he's ordered to pay $896 a month. And he does not. He's never exercised visitation with the children.
All right. Ms. Simpkins, when did you file for bankruptcy?
We filed in September of 2001.
Why?
And it was discharged. Why?
Yeah.
Because bills just got out of, I just couldn't make it anymore.
So for how many months did he not pay child support?
He didn't pay it at all for 3 months, and then I got...
That's incorrect, Your Honor.
And then
Go ahead.
I got in contact with his commanding officer, and I had to forward documents, and I said 805 because at that point my mother was helping me with child care, and that was a fair amount, and that I could support the kids on. And then later on, the 805 was coming, and then Jason and I talked, and my mother wasn't able to watch the kids, and he was supposed to bump his child support up to the 896. And that never happened, and the military said they couldn't do anything about it. And so I was kind of stuck until he came home. And
Well,
then
whatever. It was 805. You were getting $805 a month pursuant to a court order, and it was coming right out of his pay.
Right. I was getting, yeah, but that was almost $100 short a month.
Well, he says that he's got proof that he paid that money.
Here's a signed letter from me and my wife, ex-wife, the month that I went into the military, as far as my taxes were concerned. Our tax return was going to be applied for.
And he still didn't pay after that.
Well, it seems, Ms. Simpkins, that based upon this agreement that the two of you signed, this wasn't somebody who didn't pay child support. He paid child support, and when he was going into the military and there was going to be a hiatus, the two of you made an arrangement, whereas his tax returns were going to be split. You were going to get so much money, and he was going to get so much money on the returns. It's not as if he was a deadbeat.
No,
so I find that your excuse that it was his fault that you filed for bankruptcy somewhat disingenuous.
Well, that was for a previous. I mean, after he went in and that money was applied, there was still no child support until I hunted him down.
You don't have to hunt him down. What you have to do is you have to apply for your allotment. That's what you do.
He had told me that he was going to Fort Bragg.
Yes.
He didn't go to Fort Bragg.
Well, who do you think that he has the ability to say, I want to go to Fort Bragg?
Well, no, but they told me that's where he told me that's where he was going to be stationed.
Maybe that's where they told him he was going. You think he was trying to fool you?
Yes.
You think he was trying to fool you? No.
When I went away for basic training, Your Honor, I was going to Fort Jackson, and that's where I told her it was. And they found I was colorblind, I couldn't go.
Listen to me very carefully, madam. You may have filed for bankruptcy, and between you and the creditor who you owed money to on the car, the bankruptcy court relieved you of that obligation. However, you have a judgment of divorce.
Right.
You agreed to accept sole responsibility for the car.
Yes, ma'am.
Your judgment of divorce provides that if you don't do that, you are to indemnify him. Make him whole. Because it's your car. Where's the car, by the way?
If we turned it in. I turned it into the car.
When did you turn it in?
Oh, gosh. I want to say September of that year.
September of what year?
2000.
And when did you file for bankruptcy?
Not until 2001.
So if you turned it in, you turned it in at the exact same time as you were divorced. And then all you wanted to do was clean your slate. So you turned the car in and you obligated him at the moment that you got a divorce.
No.
Yeah, you did. No. Sure you did. That was slick. Oh, that was slick.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You assume the responsibility yourself. You're a big girl. You're big enough to make... That's baloney.
That is not.
That's baloney.
And later today,
I don't care whether they're divorced or not. If she were the custodial parent and he came to me and said, well, we're not divorced yet, so I'm not paying for anything, I would wipe up the floor with him.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jason Bainbridge says ex-wife Jennifer Simpkins filed bankruptcy on a car in his name. Jason says the creditor is making him responsible for payments.
Why didn't you consent to him having both cars in the judgment of divorce?
Because the divorce was bad and messy, and it was just...
Why didn't you say, here, you take both cars? Maybe you can sell them, maybe you won't get stuck with it. Instead, he's singing along for a year thinking you've got the car, you're making payments.
No, he knew.
You're making payments on the car.
Right.
You're making payments on the car. He's making payments on the other car, I assume.
No, that car, he turned that car in for repossession as well, so he wasn't making payments on that.
That's not true, Your Honor. My father actually paid it off.
After it was repossessed.
So somebody paid it off, so somebody got it off his credit. Well, that's what your parents should have done with your obligation.
No, it's not their job.
It's not his job. You assume the responsibility yourself. You're a big girl.
He wasn't
You're big enough to make...
support.
That's baloney.
That is not.
That's baloney.
No, ma'am.
How much did you owe on the car?
According to them, it's $4,353.10.
Let me see it. And that will clear your credit?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you called them with regard to settling this account?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, and what will they say it will take to settle it?
Just the $4,350, what's stated on that piece of paper.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,353.10. Madam, you have to be a grown-up. You obligate yourself to do something, you have to do it. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It was World War III. We didn't get along very well, but she needed to take care of her end of the obligation.
He left a lot of times, and I changed the locks, and that was it.
This is only one of many things that she maliciously did to me.
There was other women involved.
I can't buy a house. I can't get a car. I got to get a judgment on my credit, so now I got to get an attorney to get that off my credit.
For our children, he doesn't bother with them now, so I don't think he'll ever be a major part of their life.
It's been an everyday occurrence as far as her trying to get her payment on the vehicle. I'm glad it's finally over with and justice is perfect.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Tarter versus Hughes. Step forward, please.
Bus driver Catherine Tarter is suing her estranged son-in-law, 25-year-old salesman Donald Hughes, for the cost of a trailer. Donald says Catherine is angry about his pending divorce from her daughter.
Miss Tarter, the defendant is your soon-to-be ex-son-in-law. And
Yes.
according to your complaint, he owes you some money for a trailer. Is that right?
Yes.
The defendant says he's paid you a substantial amount of money for the trailer, doesn't owe you any more. You have the motorhome that went with the trailer. He doesn't have it in his possession. It's not on his property. I assume this is your daughter?
Yes.
How long have you been married?
4 years, Your Honor.
You have children?
Yes, I do.
How many children?
I have a year-and-a-half-year-old daughter, and then I had 2 sons that came with the marriage that are still dear to me.
And who does that child live with?
I have sole custody.
Is that after a hearing, after a trial?
Yes.
Does their mother have visitation with the children?
No, she does. She has 2 hours supervised visits a week.
Does she exercise the visitation?
Sometimes.
Prior to the divorce, did you have a reasonable relationship with Mr. and Mrs. Tarter?
Yes, I did.
Is that right?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
I have 2 girls.
How many grandchildren do you have?
3.
How much money was this trailer?
It was $4,000.
Just for the trailer?
Just for the trailer, and the motorhome was $4,000, so they agreed upon $8,000.
And how much do you say it was, sir?
It was $4,000 altogether for both of them.
Is there a writing with regard to that?
We had a verbal agreement.
Is there a writing with regard to that, is my question.
No.
How much have you paid them for the trailer?
I paid them $1,950 for the trailer and the motorhome together.
But you only have the
I only have the trailer.
trailer. Did Mr. Hughes pay you $1,950?
No, ma'am.
How much did he pay you?
The motorhome broke down.
I'm not talking about the motorhome.
Okay, well,
He doesn't have the motorhome.
He paid us, I know, they returned it, so therefore all the payments that were paid towards, individually towards the motorhome and the trailer were forfeited. And they were always...
Forfeited by whom?
By us. It was written down where when he paid us money, that $75 would go towards the motorhome and $75 would go towards the trailer. When one was given back in case they decided they couldn't afford it, or that it broke down, which the motorhome did, and they couldn't afford to fix it, they gave it back to us. So therefore, the motorhome payments, which were $425, was forfeited, and then $425 was credited towards the utility trailer.
All I'm asking you is that in writing someplace?
I typed up a legal contract because
Did he
at first
sign it?
He refused to sign it.
The answer is you do not. Shh. You do not have that in writing. Is that correct?
My daughter signed it, and
I don't care what your daughter signed, madam. I mean, I happen to think that you're missing a few screws, and I'm going to tell you why. You have a 1.5-year-old granddaughter. Your soon-to-be ex-son-in-law has sole custody, which suggests to me that if you want to maintain a relationship, and it seems to me you enjoyed a reasonable relationship with him before, if you want to enjoy a reasonable relationship with your granddaughter, you should keep him on your good side and not sue him, because it would appear to me that your daughter had to be a pretty deficient person in order to end up at the end of a custody dispute with 2 hours a week supervised visitation. Do we understand each other?
Yes, ma'am.
Why would a normal person who has 3 grandchildren risk the wrath of their custodial parent over nonsense? Over nonsense. He's paid you money. And how much child support is your daughter paying for her daughter?
She's not, and they're not divorced yet.
I don't care whether they're divorced or not. If she were the custodial parent and taking care of the child, and he came to me and said, in the course of a legal dispute, and I said to him, how much money are you paying for child support? And he said, well, we're not divorced yet, so I'm not paying for anything. I would wipe up the floor with him.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Catherine Tarter says her estranged son-in-law, Donald Hughes, owes for the cost of a trailer. Donald says his soon-to-be ex-wife is a drug addict.
Now, I asked you a simple question. The simple question was, how much money was paid to you by him for either the trailer and or the motorhome?
$425 for the trailer and $425 for the motorhome.
Are you passive-aggressive? How much money was paid in total for both things? Just don't give me $425 for each. How much money do you say was paid in total?
$850.
Okay. And you say $1,950.
Yes, I do.
Could you prove that to me?
No, I can't. I have no receipts due to my house being taken from my wife, and then when I got my house back, I had no paperwork, no receipts, no pink slips.
They say $850. What makes you think it was $1,950?
Because I paid on time, sometimes a couple days late, but every month was paid since October of 2002 until December of 2003.
So far, is that right?
No, Your Honor, I have a payment schedule here showing.
See.
They were to pay $26 for insurance.
I'm not talking about insurance. I'm talking about how much money he actually paid to you. Okay. $1,450 is, by your calculations, what he paid to you. Not $850, $1,450, based upon this.
Your Honor, those payments were divided up between the motorhome and the trailer equally.
I just told you he doesn't have the motorhome. You do.
No, we sold it since then.
Well, that's not my problem. That's not his problem.
Well, I asked him to return the motorhome when he refused the one payment and took it back.
You took it
Miss Tarter, you're not following me. If you think they owe you anything for the motorhome, get it from your daughter. Do I make myself clear? You are a very foolish lady. A very foolish lady. If I were in your position, I would not alienate the father, the custodial parent of my granddaughter. I would not alienate him. And for a very stupid reason, money. You did.
This has been going on for over a year.
No, that's not true. Because December of 2003, which is not over a year, he made a payment to you of $500. That's according to your own record.
But we sold it to him on March '03, is when the trailer and the motorhome was sold to them.
Did you hear what I said to you? It's not been going on for over a year. He made a payment to you of $500 in December of 2003.
Yes, he caught it.
When was the last time your daughter sent any money for the support of his child?
March. That's not an issue. They're not divorced
It's
yet.
an issue, madam, if you're using your brains.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
March of 2003. Was she employed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where was she employed?
At Child Time.
Until when?
October of 2003.
And what did she do with her money?
I thought she was paying bills, but she wasn't. She was using it on drugs.
Was she placed in a rehab?
I placed her in a rehab in January.
Did she stay?
She stayed for 60 days, Your Honor. And then she was supposed to go to a halfway house, and she ended up getting kicked out of there for doing it again, drinking.
Where are her other two children?
One lives with his father, and the other one lived with the grandparents.
Ms. Tarter, I find that the defendant has paid you $1,450 for a trailer. I find that your agreement was $4,000 for the trailer and the motorhome, not $8,000. Whatever deficiency there is, I suggest you get it from your daughter. Your case is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. Miss Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Who's Brian?
Me.
Who's Anthony?
Me.
Everybody else sit down.
Hey.
How old are you, Brian?
9.
How old are you, Anthony?
12.
Brian, you were riding your bike near Anthony's house, is that right?
Yes.
And something happened and you fell off your bike and you broke your tooth.
Mm-hmm.
Just one tooth?
2 teeth.
2 teeth.
Yes.
You want to tell me what happened and how it happened that you fell off your bike?
I was riding my bike up the hill, and then I saw Anthony washing his motorbike. So I said, bet you can't squirt me with the hose. And he ran up and pushed me off my bike.
You saw Anthony, and he was doing a chore, washing his bike. So you said to him, I bet you can't squirt me with that hose? Why did you say that to him?
I don't know.
Well, that was pretty silly, wasn't it?
Yes.
Well, what if he started chasing you with the hose? That's what you asked him to do. You bet him, right?
Yes.
Would you have liked that?
No.
So what happened after you said to him, bet you can't squirt me with that hose?
He ran up and pushed me off my bike.
He did?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what happened, Anthony?
No.
What happened, Anthony?
Well, after you said that, like, I pretended like I was gonna squirt him with the hose. Like, I pointed at him. And so I started running after him, and then, like...
With the hose or without the hose?
Without the hose, because I dropped it because I couldn't reach him. So, like, when I was running after him, he was, like, trying to avoid it. So he hit the curb, and he flipped.
How far away from you was he when he hit the curb and flipped? Show me someplace in this room.
Well, right there, maybe.
Where? Walk up and point to it.
Right here.
Okay, now step back. So what you're telling me, Anthony, is you never touched his bike?
Nope.
Now, Brian, you were riding away from him?
Yes.
Is that because he was chasing you?
Yes.
So you're looking in the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know he bumped you off your bike? Did you turn around and look to see where he was?
Yes.
And when you turned around and looked to see where he was, what happened?
I saw him push my bike.
No, I don't think you did, Brian. I don't think you saw him push your bike. I think he was chasing you.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think at the very moment that he pushed your bike, you turned around to look at him. You might have turned around and hit a curb and fell, and he was chasing you, and the reason you fell off your bike is because he was chasing you. There's no question about that. But you made up a little bit of fib when you said he pushed you, because I don't believe he pushed you. Understand? Because that was a fib you just told me, that you turned around at the exact moment he pushed your bike, and you saw him push it and you fell off. That's a fib. That doesn't mean he might not be responsible, because he was chasing you. And you were trying to get away from him, but you started out by teasing him. Why were you teasing him?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Here you go. Now, I understand that when... Now I need the two mothers up here, please. Now, I understand that when this happened, Ms. Sicklese, I understand that Anthony, or you, went and got Brian. Somehow he got to your house.
Well, my older son came in and said that Anthony had the hose and that Brian was taunting the boys. They raced motorcycles, so he was washing his bike, and him and another little boy were taunting the boys.
Just a minute, Brian, were you with somebody else?
Yes.
Who were you with?
Robbie, my friend.
How old is Robbie?
I think 9.
And was Robbie saying anything to Anthony and his brother?
No.
Just you?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So he had warned them, you know, get off our driveway, and because they live far down the street. And so for them to be, you know, up there, and so Anthony, you know, had warned them.
They're allowed to be up there. They're just, listen, he's a 9-year-old kid. They're playing kids' games. You know, I bet you can't hit me with that bike. I bet you can't squirt me. And then they turn around and they ride away. Right? He decides he's going to try to get him with the hose. Hose doesn't reach. Hose doesn't reach. He starts chasing him. He's turning around, not looking where he's going. He falls off his bike. That's what happened. You don't have to be a genius to figure that out, unless you're trying to blame somebody else.
Yeah.
All right. So, but he came to your house.
He split his chin, and he had his knee was scratched. So I brought him in my house.
You brought Brian into your house.
Right. And I told the other little boy, go get his dad. Now, the other little boy went to go get his dad, not Brian's dad. And so I brought him in the bathroom and put, like...
you took care of him as best you could.
Yes.
Well, who came to finally get him?
I took him home, and then I talked to the father, and the father was very upset, which I understood. I mean, you know, his child was hurt, and he was venting, and I was, you know...
Well, what was he saying to you? Step up.
That
what?
That, you know, that our kids have problems and they have no supervision.
Why were you...
And I was saying sorry.
Just a second. Why were you involved in that kind of conversation with us, sir?
Well, there was some admittance that he was pushed off the bike. And
just a second. What did Anthony say to you? Did he admitted pushing him off the bike?
Anthony's brother was down there. And I said, where's the father figure? I said, there's nobody watching these kids.
Listen, your son was at their house. What's wrong with you?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Does your street have two sides to it?
He was riding up on the sidewalk.
He's giving you baloney. Just because he's yours doesn't mean he won't give you baloney.
And later today...
We also have copies of the checks that were written.
To Amy, not to me.
But there's no way that Amy would steal money from my grandmother.
Listen to me, Mr. Hoffman.
You don't know about
You don't know that.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 9-year-old Brian Jerse says neighbor 12-year-old Anthony Sicklese shoved him off his bike. Anthony claims he never touched him.
Your son was at their house. They didn't come to your house. He was there, and he was teasing them. The lady brought him home to you because you weren't out there supervising him. He's 9. Quiet. He's 9. You weren't out there supervising him. She went in, took care of him, brought him back to you. So, I mean, I read that, and I said, why would a grown man open up a mouth like that to this lady? Any reason?
No,
or you
I
just
saw my
lost your
kid
temper?
I saw my kid covered in blood.
Yeah.
There had been prior instances with Anthony teasing my son, and I just, you know, I made a couple of comments like
Well,
that.
then you were wrong.
Okay.
Because your son started it. You understand that? Okay. So, and if he got hurt, he got hurt. That's all he's got to know. He can't tease people, especially people who are older, people who are bigger, But we're not talking about a 9-year-old and a 25-year-old. We're talking about a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old who are about the same size. Right?
Yes.
So, it happens. That's what happens with boys. So you don't get that kind of upset, sir, especially to somebody who's trying to do the right thing. Now, I don't know anything about these boys. I don't know about their history. I don't know if they're wise, Alex. That may be. He may be a little bit of a Weisenheimer, this one over here. This one.
He's more outgoing than my oldest one.
Oh, well, he was one with the smirk on his face, so I wasn't exactly sure what that
He's
smirk
nervous.
was. Are you nervous? Am I making you nervous?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
So he's like, he was...
I thought, like, you got that from my hair, so I...
Well, I thought I could use a little bit of a comb down, but that's... I understand that's the style these days, so I have to go with it. You're not mine. It's fine with me. No, I don't know what you were upset about. So you're upset because you saw your son injured. That doesn't necessarily mean you have the right to take off against the boy's mother.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Brian and Robbie were on their way up to Robbie's house. They had to ride their bikes past their house to get to Robbie's house. And in numerous incidents before this incident, these boys had stopped Robbie and Brian, saying they could not pass them on the street to go back and forth between
So
Robbie's
as a
house
result
and
of
my
that,
house.
Brian stopped and said to them, I bet you can't squirt me with the hose. Does your street have two sides to it?
He was on the opposite side of the street.
No, he wasn't.
That's
No,
according
he
to
wasn't.
Brian.
No.
He was not in the
wasn't.
driveway, according to Brian.
No, he wasn't. He was on the drive. He was close to the driveway. He wasn't on the other side of the street.
He was riding up on the
He's
sidewalk.
giving you baloney. Just because he's yours doesn't mean he won't give you baloney.
I had another instance with Anthony.
I'm not interested. I'm interested in this one. And in this one, he started it. He finished it. She's not responsible. They started it. And I don't believe that he pushed the bike. I believe that he chased him and he fell off the bike. I don't believe he pushed him off the bike. You're not that evil, are you? Try to be nice to each other. That's what the world's all about. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
They became very hostile after we made a police report.
We tried to settle it, but they didn't want to settle it.
Flipped us off when they'd go by my husband.
Wanted to get attorneys first, and this is where we're at now.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Smith Huffman versus Warden. Step forward, please.
26-year-old prep cook Amy Smith and chef Stephen Huffman are suing Amy's ex-friend, 26-year-old homemaker Kelly Warden, for stealing money. Kelly says Amy is pulling a fast one.
According to this complaint, you gave the defendant a certain amount of money.
Yes.
Money that she was to give to an attorney because you were in the process of seeking a divorce.
Yes.
It is your claim that she stole that money, never turned it over to anyone except herself. You want it back. Defendant says this is a whole story that's made up by you because you took this money from your grandmother and spent it. What does this man have to do with anything?
This is my brother, Steven. He came down with me to get receipts and a phone number from the lawyer.
Oh, he's a witness?
Yes.
Why don't you have a seat? Okay. When did you first approach her about seeking some advice about a lawyer?
In December, I told her that I had to find a lawyer so I can do a legal separation or a divorce. And she said that she could help me out. I thought I could trust her.
Gives her qualifications to help you out with anything?
Well, she told me she already went through a divorce. She told me how much it would be. It was like $920. I gave her that money, and then she called me again.
Just a second. Why did you give her the money?
Because I lived an hour away, and it was like I didn't have a vehicle or anything.
Does anybody in your family have a car?
Yes, but they work, and I'm not allowed to drive their cars.
Go ahead. So you gave her money for the lawyer without even calling the lawyer?
I asked her if I can get the phone
Is
number.
the answer yes or no?
No.
You didn't call the lawyer?
I couldn't. She didn't give me the number.
Of course you could. Keep going, Miss Smith. So you gave her $920?
Plus $500 and something.
When did you give her the other $500?
She came up to New Berlin, up to my grandmother's house. My grandmother wrote the check out to me, and she said it would be better if I gave her cash and stuff, so I signed the check and cashed it.
And the money never got to a lawyer, is that what
No.
you're telling me? And when did you find that out?
My brother and I and my father went down to her trailer to get the rest of my stuff because I was moving down there, and then I decided to move back.
Moving down where?
To West Windsor,
So you managed to get somebody to drive you down
My
there on
brother
a Thursday?
took off work.
Listen to me.
Sorry.
You managed to get somebody to drive you down.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Stand up. Your last name is?
Hoffman.
In 30 seconds or less, you tell me what you know about this money.
My grandmother allowed Amy to borrow the money from her. We drove Amy down that day because everybody in the family thought, well, why didn't you get any receipts from her from this lawyer? So we finally...
Because that's what she was telling you. She was telling you that listen to me.
She basically
Mr.
manipulated.
Huffman, your sister was telling you that. And she gave her a receipt.
Handwritten receipts from a lawyer.
Miss Warden says that your sister asked her to write out these receipts because she had taken the money from your grandmother.
Yep.
Let me hear what she told you.
Amy called me up and said that she was in trouble, that she was her husband had just left her. He was filing bankruptcy. She says, well, my grandmother's going to give me a couple of checks. Will you please come up and take me to the bank and cash them? December 9th, we went to her grandmother's, picked up a check for $920, cashed the checks at Key Bank, and she decides she wants to go shopping. We went to Walmart. She bought me a numerous amount of clothing, my daughter all kinds of clothing, toys.
So what you're saying is she took this money from her grandmother. Now, I want you to tell me, because I read it in your answer, what she said to you about these receipts that she wanted you to sign.
Her mother and father were harping on her for some receipts. So she asked me, she says, Kelly, could you please write me some receipts, please? I want one saying that I gave a lawyer $920. No big deal. I was helping my best friend. And then she asked me if I'd write another one for $1,420. I said, sure, no problem.
Those are the two receipts that you have.
So I wrote them.
These are the two receipts that Kelly wrote, and we also have copies of the checks that were written.
To Amy, not to me. To Amy.
That's true. They were written to Amy, but there is no way that Amy would steal money from my grandmother.
Listen to me,
There's a lot
Mr.
of
Huffman.
things you don't know about
You
her.
don't know that. Okay. Did your sister ever hold a job?
She holds a job, but she's very ill sometimes. She has asthma.
I have asthma.
Shh. Please, could you do me a favor and be quiet? I don't want to hear you again until I ask you a question. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect. Mr. Huffman, your sister's story doesn't sound true to me. Do you understand? And I know it's very hard for you and your family to say she took money from her grandmother under false pretenses. But somehow it doesn't make sense to me that what appears to be two relatively intelligent people, you certainly, your sister sounds perfectly normal to me, would say, I want to get a divorce. Take $1,420 and without speaking to the lawyer. First $900, needed more, haven't spoken to the lawyer. Another $500.
Us as a family were asking Amy, what are you doing? We said, why didn't you get information for her? At one point, Kelly called her down and said...
Did she ever say to you?
She had paperwork.
Shh. Mr. Hoffman, did your sister ever say to you, could you take a day off from work and drive me to the lawyer's office?
I would have. Amy...
Did your... So ask me the question. Did your sister ever say that to you?
No, she didn't. She was in a vulnerable state in her life.
No.
and
Listen
she
to
was
me,
taken
sir. She
advantage
did
of by
it because
Kelly.
she took the money.
Amy did not use the money.
Yes, she did. Your sister's story doesn't make sense because she has a family, she's close to her brother, and the reason she gives me for not going to the lawyer herself initially is because the lawyer was an hour away, and she doesn't have a car, she doesn't have an access to a car, but she has access to you.
Her husband handled all this stuff before, and she didn't know how to do it, and she wanted to do things on her own. To prove to us as family members that she could do something herself.
Did she ask you to help her move down to...
She asked my other brother.
And did he?
No.
Shh. Did he bring her... Did somebody take a day off from work? Who took a day off from work?
Friend of my brother's.
But your other brother did, according to your sister.
No, he did not take a day off of work.
What part of close your mouth didn't you understand? Close your mouth. Each one of those words has one syllable. I'm not trying to confuse you. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand, Mr. Hoffman? Your sister took the money and she spent it. She did not give it to her. She may have spent some of the money on her. She may have bought her clothes. She may have bought her things. But no normal person says, here's the money for the lawyer and I don't have to talk to the lawyer. So your case is dismissed.
That's why we went up there.
That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Sanford versus Alexander.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Miss Sanford, the defendant had been your boyfriend. According to your complaint, you had an argument one evening. You were out at a series of bars, and defendant caused some damage to your car. In addition, you claim that he assaulted and hurt you.
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay. When did this incident occur? What date?
August 13th.
Where had you been that evening?
We went out to eat first. Then I got a phone call from a friend saying there was a party. So we went to the party. I saw my friend there. When we got there, we didn't recognize anybody there that we knew. So Soren then suggested another bar. And when we pulled in to the parking lot, I realized it was a strip bar. I immediately said, I'm going to stay in the car. I refused to go in. But then they talked me in and they said they were only going to have one beer.
By this time, what time was it?
12:30. It was getting late. Bars were closing.
Okay. Did you go into the bar?
Yes, I did.
And you stayed for how long?
Enough for them to have 2 pitchers of beer.
Just the 2 of them? Did you drink?
No, I did not.
Your Honor, she was drinking as well. We went out for dinner.
I was drinking before then.
All right. What time did you leave that bar?
When it closed.
What time?
That was the only reason why we left. 1 o'clock, I think. Okay. 1:30.
And what happened when you got
Well,
into the car?
an incident happened before we even got in the car. We walked out of the bar, and he immediately was furious, punching the window, and he punched it like 5 or 6 times. And then he's like, open the door, unlock the door. And I was like trying to get the keys out of my pocketbook. As soon as we got in the car, I was like, why are you hitting my window? That was why the whole fight just started out. He wanted to get out of the car, because
was he sitting in the front passenger seat?
Yes, he was.
And you were driving?
Yes, I was.
Go ahead. Now you're driving along and he wants to get out.
I wasn't going in the correct direction to another bar that he wanted to go to, but the way he was disrespecting me the whole entire night, I refused to bring him to another bar. So he grabbed the steering wheel, slammed the car into a curb, just missing a pole. I was in shock, so I just got out of the car. And that's when, I don't even know if I was yelling anything. That's when he grabbed my arm and started throwing me up and down, like flinging me around like a rag doll. And I hit my hip on it was cement steps. Got out of the car, furious, and Soren ran from the scene.
So what happened to your car?
Instant flat tire and multiple damages to the right side of the car.
Do you have photographs of the car?
Yes, I do. This is the rims. I have proof that I have bent rims.
Let me
I
see
also
the
have
pictures of the car.
receipts of all the damage.
Just a minute. Okay. Did you seek any medical treatment?
Yes, I did.
When?
About 3 days later. I have medical proof of that. And he also came to the doctor's appointment with me and to get x-rays because my hip hurt so bad.
Did you, in fact, go to the doctors with her?
Yes, I did. She said that she had hurt her side, and I said, there's no way that you got damaged enough that she thought she had a cracked pelvis. I'm like, there's no way you'd be walking around for 3 days.
But she complained to you that she had, in fact, been injured.
3 days later.
And you were...
If she was really injured, then she would have gone that night. She wasn't injured.
But you were sufficiently concerned to accompany her to the doctor, is that right?
She requested that I go with her, and I said, fine, I will.
Were you still seeing each other then?
At the point of the accident, I really didn't want to see her ever again.
Did you see her again?
Yes.
Until when?
Till the day that I paid her the final check.
Which was what date?
Check date was 11/25.
So you continued to see her until November?
Yes.
Now, in your defense, you said you would pay for the damage to the car. And you immediately gave her some money. How much money did you give her?
I gave her $200 cash 1 week, and then I gave her $100 cash the next week after we spoke. And at each week, I asked her, can I have a statement so that I can see what I'm paying for? She got irate with me. She said, I don't have a statement. All I have is a receipt for a total bill. And I said, well, then what do I know that you've done to the vehicle? Have you fixed the side, or have you fixed other things? At the time that I issued the check for $180...
Then you gave her another check for $180?
Yes, because...
How much later?
That was probably about another 2 weeks after.
So far, that's all correct. He's given you $480.
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
She then, after I issued her this check, said, now you're going to pay for the rim, right? And I said, no, I'm not paying for the rim. It's warped because you drove away on the rim with the flat tire. Then she wanted payment for the rear of the vehicle. Well, nowhere in her statement does she say the rear of the vehicle got damaged. She just wants more money for other things that never took place.
Let me see the final check that you wrote to her, sir.
The check also says paid in full, and
Yes,
she cashed
that's
it.
what you said in your answer. What kind of car is this?
It's a Hyundai Tiburon FX 97.
Are you driving it?
Yes, I am. I'm driving it damaged right now. It has two bent rims on the right side.
How could it have two bent rims?
Because it hit on the right side and it wrecked both rims when on impact.
Why didn't you tell him that immediately?
I did. He knew all of this. He even made me go to his mechanic to get all this done.
Yeah,
I wanted to bring it to my mechanic. This is all the receipts from that. And he was supposed to go down there that day and pay it on his credit card, which he did not. And they were going to lock my car up. And I went down and paid it over. Actually, I paid it over the phone and went down and picked up my own car.
Did you ask her to go to your mechanic, sir?
I asked her, it's not my mechanic, just a place where I've had work done. I asked her, yes, go try this place out.
His is $764.
That's not including the rims that I do need. And this is the price list of the rims.
Your Honor, she damaged those rims. I didn't damage those rims.
I did not.
If I damaged them, it would have been chipped, not warped.
Where did you take your car after the flat tire?
I drove it to a parking lot where I could change the flat tire and continue home, which was not far at all. It did not damage the rims.
Listen, he's responsible for that. Sir, you're responsible for that. If she had to take the car, drive the car, even with flat tires, to a safe place so that the tire could be changed safely, then you are responsible if the rims were damaged when she rode on those rims. And you could have avoided the whole problem if you stayed there and fixed the tire on the scene yourself.
Well, you know what? We had a chance to do that. We could have done that.
No, why didn't you, not we, you caused the accident.
Because I didn't want to be in the vehicle with her. I didn't even want to talk to her ever again. She did not let me out when I said let me out.
Okay, and you were all drinking a little too much.
I stopped drinking,
Let me just,
Your Honor.
You don't drink at all when you're driving, madam. You don't drink at all when you're driving.
While we were at the strip bar, I stopped drinking because I was so mad.
Let me explain
I
something
know.
to you. What word didn't you understand? You don't drink at all if you're driving.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Amy Sanford says ex-boyfriend Soren Alexanian owes her for damage to her car and an assault.
The rims are $221. Is that right? That's what it says.
Plus tax, yeah.
Your Honor,
Yes.
No, with the tax.
With the tax, yeah.
I have an estimate from a Hyundai dealer that has far below than that. I don't know where she gets 221
Let me see.
from.
For the rims. Let me see. So far, you owe her $284, which is the difference in what you gave her so far and what it's cost her so far to fix it. And you have, is that $172?
I believe that's what it says.
$172 times 2.
Well, why would it be times 2? I don't understand. She said front right damage, not rear damage. It's the front right side of the vehicle that we're talking about.
How did
Both
the rear
rims
rim
were dented.
No, how? That's what I don't understand. You only had one flat tire, is that right?
Yeah, but when he hit the curbing, he hit both rims on the curb. I have pictures of 2 rims being dented.
You mean it hit, but it hit harder on the front?
We were going 40 miles an hour.
All right. No, hers is less, sir. I would take hers rather than this one. Because you have 172 times 2. She has 221 for the whole kit and caboodle. That's $505. Now, your lawsuit seeks $1,800.
For pain and suffering due to him throwing me around. I worked
Miss
two
Sanford,
I
Miss
worked
Sanford,
2 jobs.
Miss Sanford, I would have entertained your application for pain and suffering as a result of being thrown on the 15th of August if you hadn't maintained your relationship with him until November.
I only did that to seek my money, Your Honor.
Baloney! Baloney!
Try to work things out. It didn't work out.
Then you try to work things out. It didn't work out. Then you don't say a year later or 6 months later or 8 months later, now I want my pain and suffering. That doesn't work.
It's been taking that long to get anything from him. I went through a lot of pain. He even saw me
Just
go
a
through lot of
second. I can understand you went through a lot of pain. If you wrote him a goodbye note, said goodbye to him, came into court and said he assaulted me, and if you didn't want to proceed criminally, you proceed civilly, right? I could say fine. But if you, I mean, did you have an intimate relationship with the defendant? Answer my question.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you have an intimate relationship with the defendant after August 15th?
I don't know, Your Honor. I don't think so. Shh. We didn't get along
listen,
very well. I could tell
listen,
you that.
I don't care whether you got along very well or not.
He took me out
Are
to
you
eat
telling
a
me?
couple times.
What?
He took me out to dinner a couple times after this all happened.
Miss Sanford, You're telling me you had an intimate relationship with him before and afterwards he maintained a relationship with you and you no longer had an intimate relationship with him for 3 months? Is that what you're telling me? You want me to believe that? No, you don't. But he is responsible for the damage he caused to your car because he took control of the steering wheel of the car. The car was in an accident, and any damage that is the proximate cause of that, he's responsible for. And if there is any question as to whether he's responsible for the damage, I have to find in your favor with regard to that because I wasn't there. Neither was he to fix the car. So the judgment is for the plaintiff in the amount of $505 for the damage to the car. That's all. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
When we were in a strip joint, she got angry at me for looking at girls in a strip joint, which is what you go to a strip joint for.
It was really disgusting, degrading to me. I just wanted to leave.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Flynn versus Burbine. Step forward, please.
37-year-old deli worker Shirley Flynn is suing her ex-boyfriend, 39-year-old contractor Raymond Burbine, for the return of her children's baby pictures and a diamond bracelet.
According to the complaint, you and the defendant lived together for a period of 5 years. You've known each other for 10. When you separated, you put your stuff in storage. It's your claim that the defendant retained some of your property.
Yes.
When did you separate your property?
I got evicted from my apartment because of circumstances.
Got evicted from your apartment in what month?
March of 99, 2000. Lived with somebody from March until June.
The two of you lived with somebody else until June?
Yes.
And what property did you take with you when you separated?
I took, like, my clothes. That was about it. I had a little TV that I brought. I share a house with an elderly woman, so I couldn't really take that much stuff.
Okay, you brought a TV?
Yes.
Brought your clothes?
Yes, some of them.
You brought your papers, whatever papers that were necessary that you have?
Well, I had in storage at his friend's house green folder filled with court papers that he still has.
Court papers?
Yes, very important papers.
What kind of court papers?
For a custody battle.
Custody battle for whom?
My children.
Raymond says all items have been returned and there was never any bracelet.
How old are your children?
14, 15, and 18.
Is that an ongoing proceeding?
No.
It's over?
Yeah.
So those papers are really not essential anymore. That case is over. Now, what items do you claim he still has in storage?
He has all my pictures from my kids from babies growing up.
Are they in boxes?
Yes.
Do you have her pictures?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Do you know what happened to those pictures?
Yes, I do.
What happened to
them?
them?
They were delivered to her.
By whom?
By myself.
When you say delivered to her, where were they delivered?
To Beverly, Mass. After we were evicted from the apartment, that is correct. And I do have a box of her court papers, but as far as the other belongings...
Oh, we're going to get to the other... But you do have the court papers?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and you have no problem with her getting...
I have no problem
with her
whatsoever.
getting those. Okay. Now, when you delivered the photos to her, was she at home?
Yes, she was.
Okay, so she actually accepted them?
Yes, she did.
Fine. What's next, Miss Flynn?
My court papers, a diamond bracelet that he had given me.
I read that in your complaint. That's where your problem was, Miss Flynn.
Okay.
You said okay too fast. You want to know why? Because when things don't make sense, they're usually not true. If you're homeless, the first thing that you pack is a diamond bracelet. Before you take your television set, before you take your underwear, you put your diamond bracelet in your pocketbook. So when you said to me in your complaint, Miss Flynn, he has my baby pictures, a crystal bowl that was given to me by my ex-husband, and a diamond bracelet, I said, this woman thinks that I'm some sort of a dumbo. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes. That was one of the things that was in with my court papers.
Oh, that was quick thinking. So if the diamond bracelet is there, you'll find it when he returns the
No,
box
he
of
won't.
court
He already
papers.
told me that his probation officer said that I don't, unless I have a receipt for it, which it was a gift.
No. Listen to me. If what you're telling me is you put the diamond bracelet in the court papers, I assume that when you get the box of court papers, you'll find the diamond bracelet. If you don't find the diamond bracelet there, I suggest you go and look in your underwear drawer. It's probably there. What else?
My kitchen appliances, a lot. He has clothes of mine still.
What else do you have, Mr. Burbine?
I have a box of court papers. Everything else was delivered to her at her home in Beverly. I have affidavits from whose garage the things were stored in.
I can't take affidavits, sir.
Okay, but everything else was
How
delivered.
long ago were they delivered?
I would say the latter part of August.
Do you recall that?
He brought me some of the stuff, not all of it.
Fine.
I told him I had a list of things missing, and I read him the list.
And what did he say?
He told me that he was going to be getting his own apartment in 3 weeks, and that he would go through the stuff and give me my stuff.
Okay.
And that's been going on for almost a year.
Okay. So you have some kitchen appliances.
Yes.
You mean bowls and a toaster?
Dishes, toaster, can opener, all kinds of stuff. I lived in that apartment 17 years, so 17 years worth of stuff.
Mm-hmm. I can't split that up. You can get your court paper, but I can't split that up. I'm not going to say, you listen, you have service for 12, you take 6 and he takes 6. That's not what
The
courts are
thing
here
that's
for.
most important to me are my children's baby pictures.
Well, but you don't know what happened to them. I don't think he's retaining them. If he returned property to you, what possible reason would he have to retain your children's baby pictures?
He was very close to my daughter and my boys. And I've called him several times and asked him to bring them back. And he said that he did have them.
Do you have any pictures of her
Your
children?
Honor, you know, she's telling the truth. I was close to the children, but no obligation to keeping baby pictures that do not belong to me. I am not...
Have you gone through everything that
I
was
have
in
went
storage?
through every piece of box, bag in that garage, and the only thing I do have are the litigation papers for her custody battle.
How big a box is it?
It's approximately, I'd say, 2 foot by a foot.
Is it possible there are pictures in there?
In the bottom, it may be, but I did go through the box to make sure none of my belongings were in there when I was served on my birthday with the court paper.
You didn't see any diamond bracelet in there, did you?
No.
I didn't think so.
Nor there was one to
All
exist.
right. Mr. Burbine, you'll do this, sir. Within 5 days, you'll make arrangements for her to get the court papers. Is it easy for you to have someone deliver them to her?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Great. 5 days from today. That's it. Thank you.
Parties are excused.
Gwathney versus Hicks. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Thank you.
Have a seat. You're welcome.
Miss Gwathney, the defendant is a friend or was a friend of your sister's.
Correct.
According to what I read, you were visiting at his home.
Yes.
Your sister was there?
Yes.
And maybe some other people. According to you, Mr. Hicks, for no apparent reason, assaulted you, causing you some serious physical injury. He was, in fact, arrested for that assault and ultimately acquitted, found not guilty.
Yes.
So you are suing him civilly for the injuries that you sustained. Mr. Hicks says that you, in fact, instigated this fight. You hit him. You had been drinking. He is counterclaiming. He wants money for the cost of defending his criminal case, as well as damage to his door that he claims that you caused. Is that right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When had you gone over to Mr. Hicks's home?
October 24th, 2003.
What time?
Probably about 7, 8 o'clock.
In the evening?
Yes.
Who did you go over with?
With my daughter.
How old is your daughter?
She was 1 at the time.
And where was your sister?
She was catching a cab over there. She was on her way over with her 2 children.
What were you going to do at Mr. Hicks's home?
Just getting out of the house that I was staying in. We was going over there to kick it, have fun.
Had Mr. Hicks invited you to come over?
Yes, he did.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. What happened when you got there, Miss Gwathney?
What happened when we got there, okay, we was sitting down. He went and got some beer. There was another girl there, and we was just at the time just talking, having fun. My sister came in, her and the girl had left. I watched the kids while she was gone. All the time he was talking about this girl, how she was, you know, just talking real bad about her.
You mean the girl that your sister was with?
Yes. So when they got back, my sister and her was in a room. And I went up in there and I asked the girl, did she want to move in with me? I told her she could pay me $25 a month and I let her stay with me. Okay, Mr. Hicks got upset.
Did you know her?
No, she was a friend of my sister's.
And you had never met her before?
No, I haven't.
So you went over to her, never having met her before that evening, and said to her, would you like to move in with me for $25 a month?
Yes, I did.
How old are you?
I'm 25 now.
Who else lives in your home besides your daughter?
Just us two, my daughter and myself.
Well, what did you know about this girl who you asked to move in with you?
I didn't know too much about her, but my sister knew her, and I figured that she needed some help at the time.
Okay, so you asked her if she wanted to move in with you for $25 a month.
Yes.
And then what happened?
Mr. Hicks got upset. He told us that we had to leave. He grabbed my daughter by her arm, pulled her out the room. I got up, I asked him, why is you touching my child? And he grabbed me by my neck, slammed me against the wall, It slammed me on top of the glass table.
And what happened to the glass table?
It broke, and my back, I had missing skin off my back and had 7 stitches put in.
So that's how your back was injured, because the glass top table broke.
Yep.
Then what happened?
There's another guy that was there. He came in, he grabbed Dennis up off of me, and I ran out of the room, ran into the living room, grabbed his phone, called 911.
Grabbed whose phone?
Mr. Hicks' phone.
And the police came?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Hicks, let me hear your version of these events, sir.
Your Honor, Miss Adams, who is Miss Gaffney's sister, right there, she was already at my home with her 2 kids. Miss Gaffney called my home looking for her sister. She asked, was her sister there?
Does that sound right? Is that coming back to you now?
No, it's not true.
Okay, go ahead.
So therefore, I stated, yeah, your sister's here. So then she asked, could she come over? I told her no, because of a previous incident that had happened.
What was the previous incident?
What the previous incident was her and her sister were at my home one evening, and she was drinking and everything like that. She went into the bathroom. A half hour had elapsed, and me and her sister started getting worried. So we finally got the bathroom door open. She was sprawled out on the floor of the bathroom, and my pills, my medication, I'm an epileptic, were on the floor as well. Bottle open, pills sprawled out. We dragged her from the bathroom into my bedroom, put ice on her, you know, tried to smack her to get her to wake up and everything like that. Finally, she woke up. So I had that incident in my mind.
So you told her not to come over?
Right, but...
Does that sound like something that may have happened, Miss Adams?
I have something to say.
Miss Adams, listen to me very carefully.
Yes.
He's just described an incident where you had to go into his bathroom to retrieve your sister from the floor of his bathroom. Did that or did that not happen?
Yes, it happened.
Good! Now sit down.
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
After that, everyone kept saying, no, man, come on, let her come over, man. So finally, I gave in. So what happened then was she came over. Everyone had started drinking and everything like that. The lady walked in. I'm calling her the lady. Okay, it's the same one she offered the $25 to for the room.
Gotcha.
She came in, looked at Miss Gaffney and said, ooh, she got a nice fatty.
A nice what?
Fatty.
Fanny.
Fatty.
Fatty.
F-A-T-T-Y.
A nice fatty. What does that mean?
Backside.
Rear end. Okay.
And smacked her on her backside. Okay? Miss Gaffney smiled a little bit. So then the lady, Miss Adams, they went into the bathroom for about maybe 5 minutes. They left.
Miss Adams and the lady left?
Yes, they left.
Okay.
So therefore, it was just me, Miss Gaffney, Johnny, Lanier. Okay? She was drinking and she was talking about the lady and everything. So me and Johnny, who knew things about this lady, tried to tell her, do not mess with her. Don't get involved with her. You know, she's no good. She will steal from you. She will rob from you. She has a
bad news.
She has a disease, okay?
Bad news.
Exactly.
Got it.
She didn't want to listen, okay? She said, I'm grown. I'll make my own decisions, who I mess with, who I don't. So then I simply told Miss Gaffney, I said, okay, if that's the way you want it, fine. As soon as they come back, y'all can leave, just like that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
They were in the room smoking marijuana, and so I patted her daughter behind the neck, and I said, you shouldn't be in here while they're doing that.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tanya Gaffney says her sister's former friend, Dennis Hicks, body slammed her on top of a glass table. Dennis says Tanya hit him in the head with a beer can.
Okay. Go ahead.
So they came back.
You mean Miss Adams and the lady?
Right. Came back. And so they all went into the bedroom. So we're sitting outside and everything.
What did you think they were doing in the bedroom, Mr. Hicks?
I have no idea.
Okay. Go ahead.
You know, that would be speculating on my behalf. I can't do that. So we were all just sitting outside and everything like that, you know, in the living room.
Where was the little girl at the
in
time?
the bedroom with them. So then I went into the room. I said, excuse me. I said, y'all got to go, man. I said,
okay, you wanted him out.
I said, y'all got to go. So I left, went back and sat on the couch. About 10, 15 minutes went by, came back again. I was just totally done with it then. I said, yo, y'all gotta go or I'm gonna call the police. Miss Gaffney stood up, her daughter was right next to her, was right near the door. So they were in the room smoking marijuana at that time, okay? And so I patted her daughter behind the neck. I did not grab her arm or anything. I patted her behind the neck and I said, hey, I said, you shouldn't be in here while they're doing that. The lady screamed out, girl, don't let him touch your daughter. What he touching your daughter for? She got upset. She came in my face, she started hollering, she started cursing, took a beer can, hit me right upside the right side of my head with it, and started hollering, get off my daughter, get off my daughter. So what I did was I put my head down, I wrapped my arms around her, and I pushed her up against the wall, okay? So she's still hollering and punching and screaming. At that time, the table was approximately about 1 foot from where we were. And she moved, she slipped, we both fell on the table.
But her back hit the table.
Yes,
You
it
fell
did.
on top of her.
Yes, it did.
And that's how it happened.
Yes.
Okay.
At that time, my friend came, he lifted us off.
Excuse me.
She ran out. So then I came out, noticed that the cell phone was gone. So I figured she took it. So she was outside. So then about 15, 20 minutes later, I hear this bamming on my door. I'ma kill you. Bam, kicking, everything. So I'm looking through the peephole. Next thing I know, I see her with the phone in her hand. Bam! And she smashed the window. At that time, I just went back into the living room.
Got it.
So then the cops came. Oh.
Cops came, you were arrested. You had a jury trial?
It was not a jury trial,
You
Your
had a
Honor.
bench trial for
Yes,
a judge.
Your Honor. Yes.
Did you put on a case, Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Did you have any witnesses?
I had 4.
At the trial?
Yes.
You had 4 witnesses. Who
Yes.
testified at the trial?
No one.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Why is that?
Because she had no witnesses.
So she testified only at the trial?
Yes.
So you rested. After she testified, you rested.
Yes.
And the judge dismissed it.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Now I'll hear you.
He's lying about me trying to give him an uppercut or whatever, trying to hit him.
Is he lying about you smoking marijuana in the bedroom?
He's lying about that too.
I don't believe that.
I swear, he's lying. I admit I do smoke weed, but I didn't smoke weed. I ain't had no money that night.
What were you doing in the bedroom?
We was in a room talking.
What were you doing in the bedroom?
Talking.
When Mr. Hicks came in and told you to leave, why didn't you leave?
He came in there once and told us to leave.
I just said to you, listen to me very carefully. When Mr. Hicks came into the bedroom and told you to leave, why didn't you leave?
We was going to leave. We had 3 kids. We had my nephew was on the couch asleep. My niece was in the room with us, and my daughter was in the room with us.
And is what you're telling me that you or anybody else in the room wasn't smoking marijuana in there?
No, it wasn't.
I don't believe you.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Okay, now, he is lying about all that, Judge Judy, because he came in the room and he said he grabs her daughter by her arm and was like, get out, you got to get out, like that, right? So he came in the room, they got to arguing because he grabbed her daughter. So they got to arguing, and he just took his hand and put it around my sister's neck like this, threw her against the wall like this, and threw it down on the table. And that's what happened. And I tried to help my sister, but I couldn't because he's strong. He's very strong, and I couldn't help my sister just because.
You should have left when he told you to leave.
Left? He only told.
Now listen to me. You should have left when he told you to leave.
I understand what you're saying, Judge.
Good. Now, so sit down.
Tanya Gaffney claims she was assaulted by her sister's former friend, Dennis Hicks. Dennis says Tanya hit him in the head with a can of beer.
What else?
I have pictures.
Can I see them, please?
I have pictures too.
Sorry.
A picture of the table, and that's the window. And
Mr. Hicks, the time immediately prior to this October 24th date, was that the date that Miss Gaffney collapsed in your bathroom?
No.
When
it was the time prior to that.
Okay. So there was one time when she came in, she didn't collapse in the bathroom.
Correct.
So why were you so adamant about her not coming over?
Because I still remembered that one time.
But you had invited her over after that.
Yes, but it was still on my mind.
That doesn't make sense, Mr. Hicks.
Okay.
It would make sense to me if she had collapsed in the bathroom, which I believe she did.
Okay.
And I believe she probably opened up your pills, and your pills were hanging out there.
Okay.
And I can understand you saying, I don't want her to come back, because that I believe. I believe that happened. Do you understand?
Yes.
And where was your daughter when you collapsed in the bathroom?
Was she asleep? I think she probably was asleep at the time.
What makes you think that age 25 you can subject your daughter to that kind of behavior?
Well, see, at the time I was suffering. I suffered from depression and stuff.
You think that alcohol's going to make you feel better?
No, and that's why I was getting help for it.
You were getting help? Were you getting medication? Taking medication?
I was getting help. I was getting help for it.
Do you believe you acted appropriately on the 24th of October?
Yes, because I didn't put my hands on him. I didn't touch him.
I asked you a question. Do you believe you acted appropriately on the 24th of October?
In the incident, yes, I do.
You were there, according to you, 7 or 8 o'clock, and you were drinking, and everybody else there was drinking. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that an appropriate situation for your daughter, who had already been involved in one drinking incident with you?
No, it's not.
So I'm going to ask you again. Do you think you acted appropriately that evening?
No.
Me neither. You got into an argument with him. You got into a fight, whether he pushed you, whether you were tussling around, whether you fell, told you to leave. You didn't leave. You probably
He only asked me to leave once, Judge Judy.
So what?
And we was about to leave. He came in the room and he assaulted me.
No, I don't think he assaulted you. I don't think he assaulted you without provocation.
Can I show you something?
Sure. You can show me anything you like.
This is his arresting booking sheet. At the top, he was violent with the officers. And my doctor's statement, I have pictures also.
I'm looking at the photographs of the injuries from the glass. Are there any other injuries that you want to show me that are depicted in these photographs, other than from the glass? The answer is either yes or no.
No, ma'am.
So you had no other injuries other than the cut from the glass, is that right?
Right.
And you told the police that he punched you? Where did he punch you? Where did he punch you?
I don't know.
And that he kicked you about the body. Where did he kick you?
I don't know.
That doesn't show up in any of the photographs.
I understand that.
There is no evidence on any of the photographs that you've shown me of any punching, any kicking, nothing. The only thing that there is evidence of is that you fell into a table and your back was cut.
I didn't fall.
Oh, yeah, you fell. He fell on top of you. Whether
If he fell on top of me with his hands around me, he would have had cuts too. He didn't have no cuts, no injuries on him.
Listen to me. You have no case. You were an invited guest into his house. He told you to leave. He didn't like what was going on in the bedroom with you 3 girls with 3 little children in there. I don't believe that he assaulted your child, which is what you are suggesting, that he grabbed your child. I believe you got angry. I believe that you were a little looped, which you shouldn't do. And I don't know what kind of medication you're taking for depression, but if you're taking any medication for depression and you couple that with alcohol, that is not a good combination. You have a year-old child, and your responsibility is to take care of a year-old child, not to do stupid things like inviting a stranger to come and live with you for $25 a month. You have to start using your noodle if you have a child that you're supposed to be taking care of. Now, Mr. Hicks, to be honest with you, I am not impressed with your counterclaim against the plaintiff. Your counterclaim against the plaintiff wants damages as a result of her having you unlawfully arrested. And the truth of the matter is, she was injured. Her perception of it, no matter how drunk she might have been that evening or how high she might have been that evening, was that she was injured. And you were responsible. You should not have invited her over to your house, sir. She had already indicated to you on one occasion that she couldn't hold her alcohol. She was there with a child. According to you, 2 times previously, she had gotten into your pills in the bathroom. She collapsed. What do you need that for? Not smart, sir. The incident that occurred here was unfortunate. She was injured. She was critically injured. She had a couple of stitches in her back because the table broke. I don't know what evidence was produced before the judge at the trial, but certainly the judge was unimpressed with Miss Watney's story. I am too. I don't think it happened that way. I don't even think you remember what happened in any event. I'm dismissing your claim. And Mr. Hicks? Think twice before you bring children into your house in circumstances where their parents can't control their alcohol. That's it, sir. Your counterclaim is dismissed. That's all.
I mean the $47 for the window.
That's it.
Why is that so?
হ্যাঁ আসতে যায় ভালো ভালো করে 10 মিনিট লাগাও চলো যা 500 যা আর ওই যে কি 500 যা ভালো করে হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ তুই তো ভালোবাসি আর ভিডিও করতে যাবো 10 মিনিট দিয়ে স্টেজে করে বেরিয়েছে आगे लगा नाम कारी बुंदी ये ना बड़ी वो बुंदी ना ए ट्रैक्टर चलो ना अरे वहाँ हम साइड दिखी वो ऑर्डर दे दी अरे तो भाभी अरे बेहतर है जाओ पास अरे बड़ा हमरा पेंटी করে জানে এ আপনি না টাঙ্গা ওড়াই না কি বাল করছে ভাই আমাকে এমনি পরে খাই দিতে মানে আমাকে এমনি খাই দেন আর ভালো করে ভাই দিনে এগো উড়াল সেতু ভাই করে নাই বন্ধ করে চুপ হয়ে যায় आगे किस दिन दे वो आ जाएगा कि ठंडा चलो सॉरी देखा भी है दुकान नहीं हाथ उठा दो हाथी करो मानसिक मादर से जाए टिकटॉक खुद ही करे कैमरा एंगल बुझे ना इलागा टिकटॉक स्कूल डाउट चल मादर से उन्होंने तो कैमरा चालू हुई से 10 मिनट पूरी में हाँ मेकअप सुंदर है টাকা ক্লিয়ার করে রাখা তাহলে এখানে রাডাটা বরাবর পরে ফাড়ে দেখি না देखो से और सिंगला हां वीडियो करना हां वीडियो हां सेगुला मागे वीडियो করে ফলো করো ঠিক আছে মাংস দে মার কালা মাংস ফলো করছেন আচ্ছা দেব তো হ্যালো ভাবি সিনি যারে আরে খাগাও নেই জায়গা হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ বাড়ি করে আসলে মাংস না মুখে টিকে দিবি আসতে যায় এখানে যাইতে 10 টাকা নেয় মুকুট টুক দে আরে ঘুরি না তো ওই যে পিছন ওইটা আরে হয় আরে একটাই দিকে দেখলে ওই যায় ঠিক আছে মুকুট উল্টা হয়ে যাবে পরে কয় মুড়ি করে দিলাম 6 মিনিট মুঝকো বাতা রে 4 মিনিট বন্ধ এই মুড়ি টাইম করব হ্যাঁ এই টাইম করব এই দে হ্যাঁ বিষয় কই সাড়ে আর নিয়ে তো সবই অফ করে দি হ্যাঁ ভারত ভাইয়ের কাছে অটো আছে আমরা অটো করে দিই আরে হবে চল চল তো আসতে না হয় একনা বড় শোভাকে নামিয়ে নিয়ে যায় এরকম না আয়ার না यार একদম শুরু নিয়ে ফটো করতে আছে গাড়ি হ্যাঁ না শুরু তিন বন্ধ যাবে দুজন যাওয়া নেই তিন বন্ধ যাওয়া নেই তিন বন্ধ নিয়ে পাইনি যা তোর বেলে ছেড়ে গিয়ে যাবে ও সাইজ নিয়ে না পায় এই সাইডে বেশিক্ষণ থাকি না ভিডিও তুই কুদু মন না দিয়া আমাদের আর তিন পারি মনে যাওয়ার চেষ্টা কর হ্যাঁ যাচ্ছি হ্যাঁ এই বন্ধ হয়ে গেছে যাচ্ছি যাচ্ছি তিন বন্ধ যাবে তিন জন আছে আমাদের এখানে এই যে কত সাল আছে দেখাও হ্যাঁ নাটক সাল আরে যা এরকম এলে ভিডিও নষ্ট হবে ভালো কথা জানি না काय फोन से भाई मेरे फोन से नहीं आशीष जब लिख दिया होती है कोई ये ना ना कागज लिखे किसी में हाथ में हां मोटे कागज काट सारी बात चार करो सोलो में अपना भी फाइल पासवान पासवान बोले जरा खाली अब ये पासवान में तेरे देखिए हमारे এটা অভিযোগ কি 5 মিনিট ভালো ভালো হচ্ছে আমার আসতে দে চাপা দিয়ে দিল শুরু করা শুরু করা আবার না থাকার বাগান সুপারভাইজার চাকরি যাই করে ফোন দিতে দিবেন না কাজ হ্যাঁ সুপারভাইজার চাকরি যাই করে ফোন দিতে দিবেন না গাড়ি এক ফুটে থুবে রে कुत्ता आया तो कुत्ता है ना काट कर दे